Greetings and salutations, and welcome to Flintlocks and Fireballs, where a handful of mad actors will attempt to survive the treacherous waters of Dungeons and Dragons. I'm your host and Dungeon Master Jason Phelps, and I'm joined, as ever, by Robbie Bellekom, Sam Ed Tudor Paul Burns, and Ellie Sparrow.
Yes. You win this time.
Crystal Maze themed.
Yep.
Today's episode is apparently Crystal Maze. No, today's episode won't be Crystal Maze themes, but today's intro certainly is.
We're going to end up in a mysterious
play
dome.
Crystal Maze D&D.
Oh, wow.
At some point we may, but not this episode. Unless things go very wrong.
I'm going to the Dreamfold. Richard Ayoade is there. Oh, are we not? Is he not like a character that's reminiscent? No, it's Richard Ayoade in Calcinea.
It'd probably be Richard O'Brien, honestly.
If you were running it, it would be, yeah.
At time of recording, Richard O'Brien's death has recently been faked.
Really?
Yeah, there's like an internet thing going on for about a day that's saying that he died. He's not. He's fine.
God.
He's
So
alive and
weird.
well.
Odd.
What is wrong with people?
People are so strange.
Yeah.
Was it just a case of, like, misreported, or was it
Weird
deliberate?
internet hoax.
It's very
Oh,
strange.
okay.
It happens every now and then. You get a weird one where people report someone dead.
That's very
The
weird.
weirdest ones are where they report someone dead, like, years later. Like, oh, they've died recently. They definitely died, like, 3
20
years ago.
Yeah.
What is wrong
What
with
is
you?
going on?
I had a teacher at drama school once who Wikipedia claimed was dead.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
very weird. Speaking of weird,
Yes, we have a special guest.
we have a special guest on the show. It's Robbie's fault because Robbie got her for my birthday. But meet Stormy Darling.
Oh, no!
I'm going to describe her to you. She's obviously a plush purple tiger, which is, like, adorable, right? Robbie got me a Stormy Darling for my birthday, but she makes literally, like, the worst sound. Listen to how awful this is. It's not done. It's never done. It goes on for ages. Don't you feel uncomfortable? Do you feel, like, slightly dirty at the sounds that she makes?
They're just uncomfortably sexual.
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
There's more, I promise you. She's not done. She will carry on. See?
Oh, no, that's true.
Oh, yeah, that's...
And is there? Will there be yet more in the future? For that, we must ask future us what
I did not press
horrifying
that again.
sexual noises from the present. It's Future Jason with messages from the present. This episode of Flintlocks and Fireballs is brought to you by you. As ever, a massive thanks to our crew members on the Flintlocks Patreon who help keep this ship sailing. There's a wealth of extra content and bonus features for patrons, including regular blog posts, extra stories narrated by the cast, artwork, and a monthly poll for the community to help design an element to go into the game. You can check it out at patreon.com/Flintlocks and Fireballs, link in the description. We are an affiliate of dnddice.com, makers of beautiful specialty dice since 2010. Whether you need dice because you're masquerading as a vampire, calling Cthulhu, or are some sort of Pathfinder gathering the magic munchkins, you can click through our affiliate link in the description and grab yourself or a friend some particularly sexy dice or a particularly sexy leather dice bag. We are also an affiliate of Zavi, fine producers of nerdy garments and handy household items. Remember, you can click through the affiliate link in the description and use code FLINTLOCKS20 to take 20% off clothing and FLINTLOCKS10 to take 10% off not clothing. And that's it for announcements this time. Back to you, Past Jason. You know, like, I really don't know if there's going to be a fifth one of those. It's really hard to tell. It just keeps going at random intervals.
I feel like she's going to go again. She's looking at me.
Yeah.
She's got these big, starey eyes.
Starey yellow eyes. They're yellow? Yeah, they're yellow.
Yeah. You see,
Oh,
she's
orange.
really cute, but then she makes just the worst sound. It's awful. Only friends by you. Uncanny gifts. I love her very much, but the noises she makes are terrible.
Awful. That's so awful.
Flintlocks and Fireballs. Our land stands on the sabre's edge.
Our cities are a powder keg.
Brother chains, brother, no one's free. A life on land is short, you'll see.
So gather your muskets, gather your spears, we'll plunder the shores of Calcinea. No kraken, storm or spell we fear, so come and sail with us, my dear.
Previously on Flintlocks and Fireballs.
I want to press the tiger so bad when it's like this. I'm not going to because that would be the same, but I want to so much. Carry on.
The party have just had a very, very long day. They have just now, after previously in the day, collapsing a building, taking out the leadership of the Five Friars gang. They have just now made an effort to bring the gang war in Newmark to a close by successfully cutting the head of the Viper and eliminating the leadership of the Bowstring Boys. And, you know, that's kind of where I want to come in at. It is probably something like 7:15 in the evening.
Oh, God, is that all?
The rain is pouring. There are in the distance. If I can find them. There is the distant sounds of gunpowder weapons being fired. The clanging of various arms against each other as the Bowstring Boys, the Orcish gang, already in the process of beating down the last remnants of the Five Friars gang, suddenly find themselves beset from the north by a small strike team of undead led by Philippe, from the south by the mostly the surviving living troops working for the Deadeyes, and to the east a motley group of volunteer goblins, hobgoblins, and bugbears, not actually acting on behalf of the gang, but instead doing you a favour in exchange for your efforts to wipe out the at least electioneering criminal underbelly of the city as a whole. But honestly, you've just, with the leadership taken out and the less roaring and more roaring of a gigantic pink T-Rex, feathered T-Rex, rising up out of the centre of Five Friars. This kind of puts the fight out of them. The rest of the fight is quick. Within minutes, the forces coming in from all sides rout the remaining Bowstring Boys. They send them scattering, and there's here and there a few pockets try to get close to you, but they're very easy to dispatch, or frankly, even just to scare away with a roaring. One of the most annoying aspects of this form, while it's immensely powerful, Scamp, is you just feel really hungry for fresh meat. You have also just torn the leadership of the Bowstring Boys in half, amongst other things. It is in the midst of this that, with a few last shots fired, three familiar figures come into the centre of the street. Felipe at the head, the necromancer and mercenary wizard at the head of a couple of bands of undead conscripts, and Adine and Azrabayar, head of the Deadeye gang, accompanied by a coterie of living troops with muskets. Azra kind of slicks some blood, grime, and water off her face with one hand, and peers up at at the bloodstained bloodstained orcish child newsboy with bloodstained deadly fucking newspapers, the pile of corpses, the punk orc lady, and let us not forget the giant pink Scamposaurus. I would call this a success.
Sorry. Celestia has been staring at the spot where Sabrina disappeared, and Matt sort of jogs her out of it. Hello. Sorry, I didn't see you coming there.
Nicely done.
Oh, I've got something for you. Hang on. Take the brass knuckles from Heinrich out of my bag. Proof. There you go.
Takes them, clenches them in a fist.
Wear them visibly, won't you?
She
I think
slips
that's his legs over there.
Oh, she slips one of them on and just raises one fist to the air. There's a mad gleam to her eyes, and several of the troops just cheer. Ah! As she laughs for him. I have waited so long for this. In the distance you hear, or indeed, one moment, because I've got the whistle of a guardsman's, whistle going off. That martial law is catching up to us. Right. Everyone bed
Make
down.
yourself scarce then.
We'll meet you back at the restaurant.
Right.
Right.
They quickly split and scurry down the alleyways.
Not exactly understanding how we're supposed to move stealthily with, and Corzin just gestures broadly at Scamp.
Yeah, how long does this
I
tend
look
to
behind
last?
me. Ow.
How long are you going to be a T-Rex?
Ow.
Right, that clears it up.
Right,
You
well,
hear the tromping of boots at the end of the street as a cadre of militiamen seem to finally reach the scene. They look up with a mixture of horror and apprehension, like some of them kind of like readying their weapons. It's the Scamposaurus until you hear a distant oh, right, that's enough, hold fire. And you see a very sodden Alton Appleblossom step out in front of them.
Alton, darling, if you could not shoot the T-Rex, then it'd be really nice.
Alton, you're right. Oh, sight for
Whoa,
sores.
hold on. Peers at the orc news child. Corzin, that you?
Oh, yeah, it's me. Sorry, and he sort of gestures to the visage like. Probably best not to ask, but
Right,
it
it's
is
magic.
definitely
They're on
me.
our side. They're on our side. Right, you. Clear these streets. I want this all. You get some.
I will give him today's password.
He nods
Same,
and gives it back.
I pointed at
you.
the T-Rex. As far as we're aware, they won't be a T-Rex forever, but honestly, we've no real idea.
See, do you think that it might be better if we moved over to the triangle? At least no one is going to think that it's time to eat them
I think
over there.
so. Bloody hell, that's as big as I've heard Emperor penguins get.
Yeah, they're massive.
I've heard a lot about penguins, and I'm quite scared of them, if I'm honest. You should have turned into a penguin. It would have been much scarier. Yes, quite.
Okay, you hold down the streets. Someone deal with these bodies. Looks down. Oh. Right, Nabila was talking to me about these chaps. I take it. He looks around and comes in close. Am I to understand this means that our crime problem has reached a resolution.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the remnants of it are sort of there, and he points, and then he goes, "Oh, actually, there's some over there, and some over there." And
Yeah,
you
I
get the
can
picture.
see. Scamp, you've got a bit between your... Never mind. Frankly, as long as we can just get things under wraps tonight, I don't want to know the details. I just want to be... I'm just happy if we can be pointing our guns outward from now on.
Yeah, hopefully with the what's happened tonight, there won't be anything like the amount of civil unrest there's been, and the Dead Eyes will be true to their word.
There's a call from down the street. Colonel! Yeah, what is it?
Colonel.
There's a bunch of gobs with guns. They attacking people, right? Are they attacking people? No, they says they're some sort of citizens' militia. Well, then conscript them in. Work with them. Frankly, we need all the hands we can get.
That
Colonel,
sounds
you're,
sensible.
careering up the chain of command rather quickly.
Are you Colonel now? When did that happen?
Got that from... I think it was about a couple of days ago. Anyway, let's get you... I need to take care of all of this. Make yourself as scarce as you can.
Scamp.
Are you going to explain this one when you write to your mum?
Scamp. Can I ride on your back? I'm going to take that as a yes. I'm going to get on. Okay.
I kneel down so that Celestia can ride.
I want to ride a dinosaur.
Corzin looks to you. Sorry, Apple Blossom looks to you. Honestly, I'll write back, and she tells me that she just reads it to the young'uns these days. And they all think I'm spinning a right yarn.
Well, you know, it's carrying on the family tradition, I guess.
Yeah, well, at this rate, I'm going to end up just liking it. Anyway, right, I am washing my hands of this. Goodness knows there's enough water. I'm just going to try and get things under control. I'll see you.
We'll get out of your way. Thank you.
You, come on with me. Picks up the whistle. Rare that I have this as a prop.
Yay.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Yeah. And yeah, I mean, Scamp, it's kind of up to you. You've got up to probably another 50 minutes. How long do you want to...
I'm staying dinosaur the whole time.
Okay, you'll probably get then what do you want to do for the next 50 minutes?
I suggest we move to an open area where no one's going to think you're stalking through the streets looking for breakfast.
A few people do, and you notice that people just get well out of the way. Although once you get into the triangle, it being night with the rain heavy and most folks already fled from the streets, you remain relatively unmolested. Although you do notice one figure kind of leaning against a wall at the edge of an alleyway leading in, and then you actually realise about 24 figures, much smaller figures beyond, and you see chewing on a sort of bagel thick with some sort of, you would guess, salt beef, is the familiar form of Poppy, the serpentine-looking figure, dressed in his sort of long, sleeveless, golden snakeskin coat. Well,
hello, darling.
Seems like you're coming more into your own these days.
Which one is he talking to? Assume Scamp. This is the most impressive thing happening at the moment.
Gotta say, that was quite the performance all round. Ain't seen one of those in some time.
Wow.
I'm not sure how we're
Sometimes
alive,
it's-
to be honest.
Yeah, that was a close one.
I feel terrible. I'm really injured.
Oh, here, let me have a look at that.
You all kind of look like shit.
I'm actually bleeding still from here. Right there.
Come on, let me have a look at that. Let me have a
He
look.
raises-
Oh, it's fine.
Sorry,
I
sorry.
always bleed. No, that's not. No, have a look. That doesn't sound good.
He raises the hand he's not using to eat the sandwich with and snaps his fingers. And you see a young human woman emerge from the alleyway as well, amongst the various small, shadowy, kind of like cattish, insectish figures. She's wearing a thick hood against the rain, but as she pulls it back, you can see you can see a dark-skinned woman, head shaved, with quite recent-looking goldish spiral tattoos around her cheeks. Step forwards. She has wrapped around her wrist like a little golden chain with a sort of coiled serpent symbol in it. And you notice about her shoulders, Celestia and Corzin, is a blue-green sort of shimmering python-like spirit.
Rainbow Spirit goes up to say hello.
Python
hello.
licks her tongue out. Oh, hello, hello. It's all right.
Sorry, I hope it's not a problem. They
These
say hello to
are-
everyone.
These are some friends. Would you be, darling? The woman walks over and places and sort of holds the amulet out to you, Celestia,
That's
holding it
pretty.
a little bit away from your one of the huge fucking cuts and burns you've got in you. After a pause, she touches it to you, and the python just slithers down, and it's weird. You feel yourself you feel it constrict around the injuries.
Oh, that's the weirdest feeling.
And then you see it slough onwards, leaving like a spiritual kind of snake skin in its place, which then sinks down in. And there's a moment where you look down and your skin seems to heal over with scales for a moment before they fade. You
I
regain
haven't seen that before.
20 hit points.
Ugh, that's a really big difference from 7.
Yeah.
Ooh, thank you. That was very strange, but I'm not bleeding. I very much appreciate it.
What are friends for?
What's your name, John?
She looks at you. You notice her, you notice she has hazel eyes. Samaya.
Celestia Stardust. Nice to meet you. I hold out a hand. Are you a handshaker?
She takes your hand and shakes it.
Amazing tattoos.
Thank you, they're new.
Beautiful.
That's, quite the bird you got there. That one gonna be part of the whole? No, I'm the only one doing the sunny thing. Okay.
Is that sort of imminent, is it?
When the time's right. It's not quite the moment for the big show, though. Right now I'm just laying some groundwork.
Okay.
All right.
So how did you two meet?
He found me and showed me a way. There's so much chaos in the world, and that's not necessarily a bad thing, but you gotta have a code to live through it all.
Wow.
Right. That doesn't sound at all ominous.
I led a difficult life before this. Hid from the big churches. I feel like you know what it's like.
Yeah, I'll give you that. Not a fan of big churches.
No, me neither, but guess I found one that appeals to me.
Bobby, are you a big church now? Is that what's happened with that around?
Oh, once upon a time. But hey, there's always the future to look forward to. So, do take care of that, would you? Alright, I have got to slither away. You enjoy your evening.
Don't be a stranger.
And don't forget, if you wanna keep on with this stuff, sooner or later you gotta set up a temple. He wanders away. The cluster of various maybe demonic entities kind of crowd after him, and they all just seem to fade into shadows.
We might have done something very bad there, mightn't we?
Strange bloke.
Concerning, extremely.
What do you want to do for the next 40 minutes while you're a Scamposaurus?
I would like to stomp around going rah.
Okay.
I would like to sit on their back while they stomp around going rah, also going rah, but not stomping.
Both of you please make a performance check.
Corzin is going to spend most of this time just keeping an eye out for any concerned citizens and going, no, it's alright, they're with me.
21.
Oh, I'm also going to do... Now, I've got all the stats of a T-Rex, haven't I?
You do.
What is the charisma? Where's it gone? Where's
God,
dinosaur
that's 3.
gone? I had it here, now gone. What is dinosaur racing? Hello. Getting distracted. T-Rex.
Excuse me, let's play that immediately. Why are we playing D&D?
I'm only a -1, so that's a 16.
Okay. It's very impressive.
Ah!
A lot of people keep their distance, but honestly, there's a few kids, you see a few kids peeking out of windows, just watching with some awe.
Can we give the kids rides on the T-Rex?
Yes.
No. Some of them go and their parents just pull them away.
Oh no. That is entirely reasonable. Rah!
About 40 minutes of this fucking about later.
Nothing useful.
Several members of
Just
the militia
that.
actually pause to stop and watch as well while they're trying to pacify the streets. But about 40 minutes this later, Celestia, you suddenly notice pinkish lines of light start to appear on the
Time to get off, bye!
Scamp, and you quickly scramble down just in time
You slide down the tail like for a
Yep.
Flintstone.
I have good enough acrobatics to do that, yes.
for the entire structure to just split of Scamp's body to split down the sides like a teddy bear whose stitching has come loose, and you see their form just collapse into shreds of light, leaving Scamp there, and also just a small rain of blood and gore that was being suspended in the temporary form just splattered to the ground. Basically everything that was sat in the T-Rex's gullet.
Oh, that could have been so much messier.
Yeah.
You
Also,
still
your
got a bit
mouth is
between
covered
your
in
teeth,
blood.
though.
I've got a little
I do a
something.
bit of throwing up.
Right there.
A little bit of throwing up.
You're right
rain
otherwise.
Oh, that was weird.
You were
Ah.
really big.
Yeah, that's...
Yeah. Why
I
have
didn't know you
not
could
learned?
do that.
No, it was the scroll. I can't do that. I want to do that.
Alright, well, if there's a scroll of it, there's got to be someone who can teach you.
Surely.
I don't know that. I haven't really got the hang of learning from scrolls.
You never know. Maybe you'll just magically learn to do it at an arbitrary time sometime in the future, just after we've had a really big fight.
I mean, that does seem to be how things go.
That does seem to be how we
Yeah,
get new spells. Yeah.
Very strange, really.
Well, you know...
It usually coincides
things
with
happen.
feeling like a little bit stronger and hardier and a little bit better at things. You know.
Yeah. Also, sometimes coincides with me forgetting how to do other things, which is very irritating.
Occasionally something really weird happens, like my hair changes colour forever or whatever.
Yep.
You know.
That was something of a milestone, wasn't it?
Or I
looks
discover I can
amazing,
bend
though.
reality to my will. You know, normal stuff.
Normal,
I think the
well,
hair's better, just
normal
saying.
for us.
Yeah,
Oh yes.
definitely
yes.
that's the big one.
Yeah.
Do I
Much
take
more of a
it?
talking point, certainly.
Do I take it you now make your way back to the gilded?
Obviously, we're not doing anything else, are we?
Yeah.
This is a very important thing we're doing.
We have an extremely important conversation to get. Be
We
quiet.
have some very important metagaming to do.
So
We do.
the three orcs that you are
Oh yeah.
make your way, I guess, around the back of the restaurant to the brothel, where you can see that a large number. The brothel actually. I'm actually going to say no. It's not to the brothel because you see the doors of the restaurant are open, and there's a light down below, and a large number of the gang members are cheering, celebrating, and drinking at the restaurant tables, with the sort of high-class fish restaurant currently being closed for the time being. There is light, there is music and cheer, and honestly, it's quite a nice bit of, actually let's go for a more sundering, cheerful atmosphere. Someone's got their banjo out. Actually, no, they wouldn't be, because this is a Ferocian place. We're going to go with the classics. So there is a cheerful atmosphere of celebration within. Some are nursing injuries, others looking worse for wear. You see a couple of toasts to absent friends, but by and large, it looks to have been a successful night. You get a couple of people kind of like who didn't see your initial transformation come to try and block your way in, like heavy-set peoples, humans who just see like a trio of blood-stained orcs trying to come in.
We killed the orcs. This is magic and fate.
You expect us? Hey, it's
Someone
fine.
You can
They're
touch
good,
my horns
they're
if you
good.
want.
Yeah.
You see Philippe.
Like, these aren't actually newspapers.
Anyway, do you
Don't
have
make him
anything to
prove
make
that.
us look not stupid?
Philippe is lounging, like his coat open on the with one beautiful woman on one arm, one handsome man on the other, a third draped over his shoulders, and he adjusts a couple of rings on one hand, snaps his fingers, and dispels the seeming on all three of you.
Oh, that's better.
The fake forms just pop
Much
like soda
obliged.
bubbles, and you resume your.
I still
Forms
need to
again.
fix my trousers. Never mind. Party.
To us, he does raise a glass though.
Quite like the
To
tusks,
a
though.
most successful
Tusks were fun.
night.
Two brass knuckles big on somebody else.
As soon as I have something.
Cheers.
Yeah.
There's a few clinking glasses. A mug of something is passed into your hand. Corzin.
Yeah, Corzin will find something to toast with and clink.
A bottle of sarsaparilla is passed into your scamp.
Hey!
I find something strong.
You just nab a bottle of unattached. I forget the name of it.
Oh,
of
the fun
unattached
thing we were
alcohol.
drinking with her.
Yeah, the strong, sweet Ferocian spirit that she was
I can't remember what
drinking.
it was called.
Dira?
It was really fun.
Dira, that was it.
There we go.
Thank you. So yeah, you grab the you just grab a bottle of Dira and swig it back, and you actually see Adine, by the way, is trim beard and all, is in the midst of everything, clapping people on the backs and being genial. Azra is holding back with a small drink herself, with a bit of distance from everyone else, but under her veil you swear she has a sort of thin-lipped smile. She looks at the three of you, makes a beckoning gesture with a finger. Well,
I will go over.
there's certainly much to be said.
What's your Fisher King name going to be?
Still working that out.
Yeah.
But come on, let me take you back to my office.
Alright,
We should
taking this with me.
do
Right.
celebrate with some of my personal daring as well. You do speak it, the stuff that you have, it's a little harsher than the stuff she has.
I don't care today.
And the four of you,
You could put this in a cake.
I think I do actually.
Put it in my mouth. It's all the cake.
She
I like cake.
takes out a key, nods past a couple of of gang members on guard, up to her office, unlocks it, pushes it open, and you are greeted by the sight of Azra's office, much as it ever is, with one unexpected occupant. Leaning back in Azra's chair is a figure you have never seen before. A frankly astonishingly handsome hobgoblin man with long, with luscious oiled black hair, curled, styled, gold and ruby earrings, and dressed out kind of almost like a fairy tale depiction of Ferosian high nobility. He has elaborate patterned silks, a turban with a jewel in it, and a number of rings on his fingers. You can see that he has in one hand a long, thin pipe with a little bowl at the end from which he is smoking. In the other, he has a small shot glass, which you notice is full of Dira, and you can see laid out on Azra's desk, next to Azra's bottle of Dira, which has been opened, and the stopper to one side, are three items. A small golden ring, a small, what looks like a tiny thin book or booklet of some description, with a little leather casing, and what appears to be some sort of bit of gemstone mechanism. Azra's response is to immediately, draw a pistol, point at it, and go, "Who the fuck are you?"
Oh, I was assuming this was someone you knew. You look fabulous.
Yeah, that seems like a...
The hobgoblin takes blows out a ring of smoke. Why, thank you. I am the listener. Azra.
Oh,
Why don't you come?
right.
Oh, the listener like the Viper and all the other things.
Something like that, indeed.
Right.
That would be my guess.
How do we know that's not bullshit?
He gestures around him as if to indicate the fact that he's got past all of her guards. No one seems to have
Oh my god, that's
recognized him.
impressive. We'll give you that.
The two guards at the door go like, Bosco, we had no... Shut up.
I've met impressive people who do impressive things before. It doesn't mean you're connected to the Fisher Kings.
He holds up a ring, one of the rings, which you notice does indeed have a sculpting of a small goblin child fishing with a pole
There you go.
by a river.
That's all I was asking for.
Right. Yep.
Always good to consider these things. I see you've helped yourself to my drinks. Well, I thought you might be a while and I wanted to make myself comfortable. Would you mind? Azra nods to the guards who close the door behind. To begin with, congratulations. Puts down the pipe and the drink and just... I am very impressed. Those two weren't ideal Fisher King material, if I'm quite honest, we like things a little bit more stable. So, congratulations, you're a Fisher Queen. Maybe you should take some time to think about the title. Sadly, the restaurateur is taken. I notice you have a fish theme. There's always the fishmonger.
Ugh.
The florist. Do you have a thing with lilies? I'll think of something.
The florist? Darling, you can't call yourself the florist. No one will be afraid of you.
I'll work it out.
That can't be. No, you
gotta
can't be the
workshop that.
fishmonger either. You can't be a fishmonger.
I'm
There's
sure
already
you'll
like the
think of
Fisher
something.
Kings, and you can't add more fish to the theme. That's
No, we too many fish.
We had to work something out for the ring. He gestures sort of languidly at the golden ring, which you can see has been sculpted with a pattern of, again, a fisherman, this time dressed almost in like what you kind of vaguely recognise, I'd say, Corzin as a bit like a Ferocian sailor with like kind of like short baggy, like sort of baggy shorts and a thin top. Just look at fishing with a net on a boat, but you do notice a lily tucked behind his ear. We can work out the precise details. However, this does make you Fisher Queen of 2/3 of New Watermark. And I suppose you are taking the other third? Oh, no. No, we've had a word with the 40 cutthroats. Well, in fact, they had the good sense to get in touch with us when it was clear how well you were doing, and they're happy to accept a subordinate position. But they will get their own name and their own title. I suppose I can live with that. Good, excellent. So, what do I get out of this? And what do you want? Why? Pretty much what you'd expect. We want access to your port, to your markets, and to your connections. And in exchange, we will give you access to ours. Everything is negotiable, with one exception. You need to swear the oath. So, what? I am your vassal? No. It's a very simple oath. You swear, on pain of death, not to kill, have killed, or directly cause the death of any other Fisher King or Queen. We've all done the same. There's a lot of wiggle room within that. I can see. But one does have to have something to guarantee honor between thieves. So is there a special ceremony?
Playing field, I suppose.
Oh, no, you just swear that you won't do that, have a drink, put on the ring. I'll have a drink as well. He picks up the tumbler. Ezra takes a glass, pours herself some very Madeira. Well then, to our good continued health. Quite so. She knocks back a swig. Picks up the bottle, pulls it away from him, passes it to Celestia.
Thank you. Yes.
Fine. I swear not to kill any of the Fisher Kings or Queens, so long as they don't do the same to me. Fantastic. By all means, put on the ring. She picks up the ring, inspects it. A little bit of suspicion slides onto her finger, and you see a line of purple thread around it and then around her hand before fading. What was that?
That's hag magic. You got a hag?
We had one.
Who was your hag?
Oh, long, long gone.
Old Mother Fingersnap?
Let's just say we are the heirs of one who took an interest in crime. Don't worry, well, it's a death curse, but it only triggers if you break the oath. I have one too. Gotta have some way to level the playing field. But with that, everything gets easier. We're going to put you in touch with some very useful people. You need a sanctum. I've been able to scry out everything here. We can get one set up for you. We know the right dwarves to get one installed very quickly. And we have some very interesting things we can do with concealed spaces. I think we're going to have a lovely time, but that is an extended discussion between you and me and the others. I will always be able to contact you now that you wear that ring. Fantastic. She looks at it. I don't suppose I can take this off? Not really, no. But if it helps, I can't take mine off either. You know it doesn't. Still, trust me, we are going to make a lot of profit between us, and we're going to do it in a stable manner. Gang wars are not good for business. We see a lot of opportunity in Sunder, which is why we sent one of our best here to do it. So which of them? Oh, none of them. They're contractors. What? Yes. You know, we weren't actually expecting him to subcontract like this, but honestly, I love what you've done with the place. The three of you have just done marvellously. Now, I assume that our mutual friend has worked out some sort of compensation with you already.
Did that happen? Did we do that?
Yeah.
I can't remember, it was ages ago.
He's doing a little favour for us.
Yes.
Well,
that did happen.
As a token of our appreciation, we thought you might want a reward from us as well. So, by the way,
Sure. Can you make me a dinosaur again? No, that's probably a bad idea, actually.
We've done it for an hour and then it will stop.
I had a really good time.
You've not had money in forever. What's wrong with you?
I assume, by the way, that the drow is here with you.
Why would you want money when you could be a dinosaur?
Well, you're making us look weird.
I assume the drow, Celestia, she's with you?
Yeah, hello.
He hasn't been reacting to you.
We're not in disguise anymore, are we?
No.
Yeah, we're not in disguise.
No, he's just not. He just doesn't. He hasn't looked directly at Celestia at any point.
I walk up to him, put my face near his face.
Oh.
You're not fucking here, are you?
Oh.
So, I assume by this point you've realised that I'm not entirely here. And I know that one of you is hidden from me, which is a little bit of a pain. I don't do a lot of face-to-face appearances.
I take the... Can I just deactivate
You just deactivate your...
I deactivate the ring and I unclench my mental bumhole, which is how I talked about it before.
Ah!
Hello, darling.
Absolute pleasure to meet you.
I said you looked fabulous earlier, but clearly you didn't. So you look fabulous.
You look fabulous as well. I must say I'm very impressed. Now, a little something to help you out. He gestures to the second of the three items. The little bit of... looks like a small document wallet. Or like a little folded thing. You actually... Corzin, you recognise... In fact, all three of you recognise these as looking a bit like the passports that you had in Sunder.
Oh, okay.
A little bit of something from the vault.
Sunder? Sul.
Not Sunder, Sul, yes. A little bit of something from the vault.
Corzin's still got his.
You do.
No, we've all still got ours, yeah.
This was a little tricky to have enchanted, but it's been with us for a long time, and over the time it's picked up enough examples that should work for everything. That is a set of papers. It is whatever set of papers you need it to be. Sulian or Syrian, whatever these revolutionaries are calling themselves. If it's a new document, you need to touch it to an example of one, but most passports, military papers, identification documents, write into it what you need it to be and what names you want it to say, and it will become that piece of paper.
That's pretty fantastic.
It's a shame to
brilliant.
see it go, but you have done us quite the favour.
Thank you. That's going to be very useful.
Well, I thought it might be, given your predilections. Which brings me to the last bit of business. He nods to the third item. Corzin, you kind of immediately recognise what this is, although it's a bit weird. It's not standard. The Celestia and Scamp, you see what appears to be a sort of arc. Not an arc, but like when I say arc, like think about the arc of like a protractor. In like this, the geometry kits you get as in school. It's like a little,
like a semicircle.
Yeah, like a semicircle, but it's just the curve of the semicircle. It's not like a full hemicircle even, and it's on some sort of like triangular frame, but the curved section at the bottom is made out of a sort of translucent orangey goldish crystal flecked with orange, red and yellow inclusions. It has gradations marked on it in what appear to be gold foil, and the little triangular frame appears to be gold as well. Corzin, you recognise this as part of a sextant. It is not the whole of the sextant, however.
Yeah.
It's the frame and the graduated arc at the bottom, but it is lacking the index arm and also the telescope and the various mirrors.
He's going to look at the guy and say, "Some assembly required?"
Quite so. That is, if you wish to accept it, a down payment on a job that I think would be of interest to you. You see, this is part of a sextant that was due to be assembled 50 or so years ago. Round a familiar sort. In fact, if I just get this exactly. In fact, I believe it was originally due sometime around 1762. At least that's when the ship that we dug this out of sank. Freak storm, pirates, hard to say, but about 3 years ago, some divers found the wreckage and we got hold of the hull. And it included this. Now, that's not actually the only part we ever found. You see, a long while ago, we actually were able to find the second part of this. I believe it's called the index arm, and a set of mirrors. They were, as I understand it, in transit when, piracy being piracy, they made their way off the ship they were intended to travel on and came round to us, and they sat very nicely in our vaults for a long time. You see, the mirrors were all cut from very interesting jewels. Now, about 20 years ago, the arm and the mirrors, along with a number of other objects, were stolen. He flips his hand, and with the grace of a conjurer, you see a playing card appear between his fingers with a 4-leafed clover in place of an ace of spades. He left a calling card. Quite the thief, not one of ours. Your job, if you wish to accept it, is simple. Track down this clover, and I'm sure you will find this next part of the sextant. And when you find him, make an example of him. There's very few thieves that manage to steal from us, and while I certainly appreciate the skill, we do have a reputation to keep.
So that's all you'd want? You just want him made an example?
I understand.
We've spent 20 years trying to catch him. You seem like you might have a chance.
What's so special about this particular sextant?
Oh, it's magic.
What does it do? Like,
Well-
does it just make little pink bunches of flowers appear every so often, or does it do something exciting? That would be quite exciting. I genuinely like that. But you get my point.
I think it does some... I've not used it myself, but I understand it does some interesting things with light. But the point is, it's not complete. On its own, it's a relatively minor little artifact. But were you to assemble the sextant... Frankly, I don't know what it would do, except that it is clearly capable, according to our wizards, of much more if it were assembled. All we know is that it never reached Sally Hafer when it was supposed to. And as someone who's been
Do
poking
you know
around...
who originally made it?
Unfortunately, no. We know where it was headed, and we know that you're very interested in the legend of Bloodbeard Brandy.
Yes, very.
So we thought this might fit your particular concerns. Someone in Porto Omicidio might know more. That's our hope. And especially if they know more about that, they might know more about Clover, because it really has been like chasing a ghost.
Nothing.
Really. Quite the frustration. But you have proven yourselves very resourceful.
It's interesting.
Find Clover. Find the next piece of your sextant.
Always up for a challenge?
And I believe that concludes my allotted time here.
How do you do this? What is this spell?
I said before we were the heirs of a hag who cared for crime. I'm afraid we really just don't know who made it. We only know its destination was Sally Hafer in 1762.
Auspicious.
Inauspicious, perhaps. But there were at least 3 parts. The telescope is unaccounted for, and I'm afraid I have no information on that. Perhaps that did get there. But if you can find it, maybe someone in Porto Omicidio might know more. And maybe they might be able to point you towards Clover.
Right.
Well, I really
Well, I'm
want
always
to
up
meet
for a
Clover.
challenge.
Well, with that, I'm afraid we're at the end of my allotted time.
How do you do this? What spell is this?
Oh. It's, as I said, we are the heirs of a hag with an interest in crime. We have many
Crime
tools
friends.
at our disposal. Perhaps one day we can talk more. But for now, adieu. And he snaps his fingers, and his entire form just turns into wisps of smoke, along with the glass and the pipe, and vanishes.
Put my ring back on.
Flashy
Clench
git.
my mind bomb hole again.
So does that mean he wasn't
Azra.
actually drinking that? But he was just doing it to annoy you?
Clearly, Ezra pours herself another drink.
How did he give you things?
Yes. Well, like, were they? I mean, are they still physically here?
They are still physically there. You can pick up the sextant piece if you want.
Yes.
I'm going to examine it thoroughly.
You do. Give me an intelligence check, I guess. This is appraisal.
Okay. Alright, not great. That's a 7.
It's very light for gold. Like, this is probably not
Right.
gold all the way through. You would guess probably gold foiled.
Right.
Rather than actually gold, solid gold sextant frame. You don't recognise the. Actually, would nature be higher? Do you have proficiency in nature?
Yes, I do.
Would that take it over a 10?
Yes, it would.
Cool. In which case, you do recognise the gemstone. This is sunstone.
Oh, alright.
Yeah.
This is rare.
And it's a large piece of sunstone at that, although it appears to have been cut down into the arc shape, very precisely to fit the graduated arc of the sextant.
Cut as if by a jeweller.
Yeah.
Right.
It does occur to me that we could find out who made it.
That was my thinking, but on this more later, perhaps.
Don't forget, you can also just cast Identify, which sometimes provides some information.
This is true.
So you have multiple angles of investigation.
Yeah, because I mean, Corzin would be familiar with sextants and how they work
Oh, yeah.
generally, but in terms of what this one does in extra, is it obvious in how it has been constructed or designed?
It is very extra, but beyond that, no. There is. It does catch the light from the candle from the lanterns on the table very nicely, though. Like it seems to, you can see it refracts pleasing patterns onto the wall behind it. If anything, it's just seem a little bit brighter.
Rainbow Spirit is like a cat trying to catch them. We're not going to get them, you know.
I can try.
Corzin will notice this and start moving it as if to tease it a little.
Oh, it's just like the cat with the laser pointer.
Jeffrey, Jeffrey, no.
Jeffrey's after the
Right.
pure, it's like lovely golden patterns.
Well, I'm very much up for speculating about this, but I think that now may not be the time.
Nah, no rush. We've had a big day, haven't we?
Yeah,
Oh, yes.
a very big day.
Well, the death curse isn't quite what I had in mind, but
Yeah, didn't know about that bit, just for the record.
Yeah, definitely would have warned you.
No.
I
Yeah.
didn't
Yeah.
realise you were subcontractors.
Yeah, sorry for
Huh.
not making that clear, but
Yeah, that wasn't purposely hidden. I just sort of assumed that's what you read, but yeah, apparently not.
No, I assumed you were kings yourselves.
You assumed we were kings. What did you think our name was?
High-ranking members. Still, it all worked out for the best. Cheers.
Fucking cheers, darling.
Clink.
Clunk.
And you know what? You settle down. You do take the opportunity to drink and relax a little bit, as much as you can. Azra, after sharing a bit of Dira with you, her mood like a little complex, but improved. Like she does look at the ring in a sort of comforting sort of way. Definitely not the fishmonger.
Don't be
No,
a fish.
no.
What are you going to be? Do you have ideas?
I mean,
The brothel keeper. That's not good. The grumpy lady, you know. That doesn't work either.
Shut the fuck up.
What's your name going to be, though? You should tell us, it's important.
Well, do you make this stuff on site here? Like, would you be the brewer?
Unhooks the veil, pulls it back. The Scarred Maiden.
Ooh.
Your name's way better than all of other people.
Impressive, yes.
Right, who's gonna fuck you up more? The Scarred Maiden or the fucking restaurateur? Just saying.
Gets the point.
She steps back into the restaurant with the rest of you. The fact that her veil is off draws a lot of eyes. Dean comes by. Is this? She whispers in his ear. He nods. And she raises one hand with both the Fisher King ring and the fucking brass knuckles.
Mm-hmm.
And Nadine calls out, "To the Scarred Maiden! The Scarred Maiden!"
Little
There's a
puffs of
bunch of
smoke.
cheers.
Raise my glass again.
She gives a savage sort of grin. "Now get back to drinking." Hey!
Woo!
That we can drink too!
I too will drink to drinking.
Someone gets out an accordion. There is much merriment.
I want to play with Thurston's accordion.
Oh yeah,
Obviously.
you
Can
join
I have
in.
a go on your accordion?
Yeah, sure.
You can have a go on the guitar. There you go.
Oh, thank you.
If you can play, I'm just assuming you can.
Have you got like a violin or something?
Yep. Got a tiny one. Where is
Yeah,
it?
the
Hang
tiny
on.
kid violin.
There you go. It's little.
Ah, there we go. Just plays like a
We have a jam.
actually really quite well plays the tiny kid violin.
You're really good. It's amazing.
Thank you. So yeah, is there anything you particularly want to do of the evening beyond hang out, party, and potentially return to your ship and sleep?
Oh my god, I need a long rest.
I get
Yeah,
really
not right
twatty.
this second, no.
Like, really, really drunk. A bit worryingly drunk, if I'm honest.
Yeah, Celestia, you get plastered. It's been a day.
I get a bit,
Yeah.
like, weird and, like, you know when somebody's trying to be
How
jokey
is
but
it
they're
still
actually
the
kind of
same
maudlin
day?
drunk? Like, it gets to that stage where there's,
Yeah.
like, an edge to it and it's a bit worrying.
Oh god, yeah. This morning, you got in with Lady Grace, I think.
Oh my god, that was yesterday.
Yeah.
Oh, I get much drunker than I thought I did.
Yeah.
This has been a fuck of a day, hasn't it?
Was this
has been
all
a
the same
fuck of a
day?
Right.
I think
I
it's
don't
been
even
Somehow,
know
it feels
anymore.
like it's been months.
It's been a fuck of a week, actually. This whole storyline has been like a week. A Calcinian week. Or so.
Do you ever feel like
Yeah.
you're going a bit insane?
Because I'll be like, when did we arrive?
You
Oh,
first
constantly.
you first arrived in Thunder's Watch 49 episodes ago and 20 days ago. Or like 18 days ago.
Jeez.
So it's
Fuck
been
me.
2 weeks since you got into Thunder's Watch.
That is
Sorry,
wild.
not into Thunder's Watch, into Newmark
Wow.
for the first time. And you broke
Wow.
you broke Odinone out of jail. Was that Odinone?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Yeah, it
Oh
was.
yeah.
Oh, I like
Yeah,
Colin
yeah.
He was good.
Yeah. These are good.
Alright.
Okay, so we head back to the ship. Corzin is tipsy, but not, like, plastered.
Alright.
Can I sleep forever, please?
Lots of sleep.
The three of
Probably
you...
bother Belle in the middle of the night for food. Bother all the other people I like. I don't do anything useful. I'm just really drunk and annoying.
Yeah, you bother everyone except for Courage, who's currently away with little Corzin, I believe.
Yes.
And eventually, the three of you flop down into your bunks and rest. Could I ask each of you to roll a d20, please?
Okay.
Oh no.
I'll roll a 20 if I can.
5.
I rolled a 4.
I rolled an 8.
Oh goodness, we did well, didn't we?
Rough dreams. Falling buildings. Fire. A lot of halflings. It's a difficult night for all of you. But the cold light of dawn does come through the shutters, and you awaken pretty much, I actually want to say pretty much on the kind of crack of dawn.
I think I climb up to the crow's nest in the middle of the night because I can't sleep and eventually fall asleep there.
You are
up.
definitely woken by the crack of dawn, as the light filters over the edge of the bleeding of the sort of like bucket that the crow's nest is.
Force it like semi-upright.
Is it still pissing it down?
It has mercifully the rain did mercifully abate during the night, but Celestia, you are cold and stiff.
Okay.
This was stupid.
It's a dull reddish dawn. Actually, no, it's already rained, so it's a dull yellowish blue dawn. No shepherd's warnings today. However, on the 20th, this would be, because yesterday was the 19th, of Falling Leaves, 1798, you have that rarest of things. A day off. No missions set, unless things go wrong. No imminent attacks expected. Tomorrow, there will be the reinforcements to shepherd in. The day after, the fleets will arrive. But this day is yours. What do you wish to do?
We're going to take her out on a date later.
Yep.
Ah, you've got a date.
I don't have an excuse now, do I?
Do you want us to pretend to be a date for you and go all the places again?
do a
I
rehearsal.
want to eat all the food again, I'll be honest.
If you could not be loud, that would be really nice.
Yeah, the three of you kind of meet up on the deck.
Loud? Well, I'm not, who's being loud?
A large cat or a small tiger kind of
Give me a
pads
hug.
up.
Give me a hug right now. I missed you. Yes. Hug me. God, you're really heavy.
Do
Fuck
the
me.
noise. Make it do the noise.
It sounds almost nothing like this.
It does not sound like this. Thank fuck it doesn't sound like
It
this. Can
sounds
you imagine?
nothing like that.
It's
That
going
is
to go
the
on for
worst.
so long now, you make me do it. Hours. The rest of the podcast, just the whole thing.
One of the ship's boys, just like, which in this case is actually a ship's girl, is just like making like vague meowing sounds at at Stormy, trying to get her to respond. Stormy just gives her like a vaguely offended look.
It's alright, you can just talk to her, she understands. She's very clever.
Oh, okay. Hello.
Her name's Stormy.
Hello, Stormy.
That means she likes you.
Stormy struggles out of your grip, pads over to the child. It's like, ooh. She tries to pet Stormy. Stormy just kind of sits on her.
Yeah, she does that.
Keeps
Ah,
petting.
you're stuck now. Look,
Yeah,
that's it.
That's where you live now. If you weren't planning on
That's
doing
your
anything
entire
for the
shift
day.
right there.
Thanks, Captain.
It's alright, I'll inform the bosun.
All right. So you have a date planned.
I do. Fuck me, I better go and find this woman and tell her we can actually have a date tonight, hadn't I? Technically, we'd have a date at any
Yep.
point. We
Yeah.
can have a date, like, right now. I'm not awake right now. It's dawn. That would be weird. That's a weird
Now's a
time
terrible
for people
time
to
for
have
a
a
date.
date, isn't it? People don't have dates at dawn.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
breakfast dates are a thing, but yeah.
Not your first
maybe,
one.
Talking of which, you should get at least first breakfast inside of you.
Oh,
Yeah.
do I have to eat food?
Yeah.
My stomach feels like it's inside out. I don't know what the fuck that stuff
Probably
is. that
sensible
Azra
after
drinks,
all
but-
of the drinking you did last night.
Ugh. Ugh.
It's the sweet stuff, it doesn't leave you alone.
It doesn't. I feel like my eyeballs have been taken out and licked and put back in. I'm sorry, that's what a hangover feels
didn't.
like.
Never
Anyone
Never
else?
actually thought of
Before
it
you
like that,
asked.
but you're right.
That's what's happened to me. Did anyone else have shit dreams? Was that just me?
Yeah, just a bit.
Yeah.
No, you're not alone on that one.
I mean, we did get up to a lot of stuff yesterday. It was bound to happen.
Yeah.
Don't sleep in the crow's nest. It's bad for you.
Oh yeah, you got like
That can't have been comfortable.
all
I
your
remember
stuff.
doing it, I just sort of couldn't sleep, and then I went there, and then I woke up there, and now I'm sad.
As you move around, like small bits of you just like plink.
Oh no.
Why is it weird to go on a date with someone? Like,
Yeah,
I'm
that'd be
a
fun.
fucking mess. I mean,
I
like,
mean,
I wouldn't have said so.
I know, but like, ugh.
I woke up with bits of gang members in my teeth, so, you know,
That's
I'm not a
true.
good judge of normal.
Well, you know, I thought I was alright,
I mean,
but then
weird's
my
relative.
fucking aunt was back yesterday, so...
But we killed her again.
Yep, that's
I know,
true.
but like, I thought we'd done that. And then she said she'd never leave.
We were kind of done with. We've killed her so many times. Some people will not take a hint.
Yeah, that's 3
No.
now.
We've encountered a worrying number of people who don't know when they're dead.
Yep.
Yeah, I think we might be among them though.
Corzin will, I mean, would that even be the equivalent of a stethoscope at this point? I think that's too early for that. But
you
he
have
will
an ear
like, just
horn.
grab yours and go, well, you still seem alive to me. Oh, yeah, yeah.
You check thoroughly enough.
You
'cause
still
I
seem to be
feel-
alive to me, Scamp.
Are you sure they're
Okay,
alive? then?
I'm,
No.
with as much as Celestia is comfortable with, I'm going to ascertain that she is alive.
Celestia does indeed, to all intents and appearances, appear to be alive, as far as you can tell.
No, I'm definitely dead.
Well, I'm terribly sorry to say that, says to you, Celestia, but you're definitely still amongst the living.
No, I'm dead.
You might not feel like it, but
This is what
it is my
living
considered
people feel
medical
like.
opinion.
Got a bastard behind the eyes.
I mean, I've got nothing to really base this on, but yeah.
I feel like a pig shat in my head.
In my limited experience, dead people don't feel anything.
What are we gonna do while you're on your date? Should we, like, follow and watch? Is that
No.
that's weird, isn't it? Let's not do that.
I don't want a child and a small man watching
Jeffrey,
me on
would
my
you
date.
like to go on a date with me? Jeffrey, go on a date with me. We'll go to all these lovely places I know that just happen to be where Celestia is.
Oh, I don't want a monkey on my
I
date
think
either.
that we should draw the line at, like, moral support.
It'll be great.
I don't. As much as
We'll do a
you're
double date.
as much as you're adorable, I can't have you. I can't go on a double date with a child and their monkey.
Sounds very
That
romantic
might
to me.
turn heads. I'm sorry to say, yeah, that might turn heads, but
Also, you're not allowed
If
to
there's
like sit
anything
and
that you
wave
need us to
flags
do
from the
beforehand,
sidelines.
we-
That would also be weird. I mean,
I was gonna
Yes.
get like a finger made out of some sort of material, like a giant finger, and just cheer.
oh
That's
god,
not no good either.
what, like one of those finger
Why a
bones that
finger?
you have? Because
Dunno.
that's
I was
really
gonna write
harrowing.
number 1 on it. They're like a hand, but with a finger. And maybe some sort of trumpet that I can blow every time something good happens.
You're not
In
borrowing
an encouraging
my
sort of fashion.
Alpha Clyde. That's not happening. Alpha Clyde is only for me,
Oh.
unless you want to learn to play it, in which case I'm
I was going
down.
to be so supportive with it, though.
You won't get a noise out of it.
Oh.
I wouldn't mind help setting up.
But what are we going to do all day while you're having your date? Oh, yeah, no, we can help you set up the
I don't know
date.
if it'll be all
Yeah.
day.
I
That's
don't
more what I was
remember
thinking.
any of the things we were going to do.
We were going to get food from several places and do a sort of
Picnic.
night picnic, I think. I was going to put lights in the trees and make it all cute.
yes.
We're going to attempt
I
a
can
sort
help
of
with that.
picnic food tour.
I'm good at that sort of thing. Oh, and then you were going to go to that nice fancy place afterwards, the bar one, for cocktails.
Yes.
Yes.
We should book that. That's the thing we should do. Also, I should check with her that she is actually free, because she might have work or something.
Alright, you head out in search of Saran. Saran is not actually difficult to find. In fact, because you just asking around the crew, because she does actually leave some notice of where she's going. You find that Saran is working this morning, and she is actually doing some work at. Oh, what would this be? At the Unlucky Dragon. Heading down into the Goblin Quarter, near the stacks, there is a not a tense air, but a cautiously optimistic one. Like the streets in general are a little quiet this morning as people are keeping to themselves after the night before, but you can see signs here and there of what may have been their own celebrations. Just little bits of discarded paper, a couple of broken bottles, things like that. The Unlucky Dragon is open, however, and they are serving breakfast in their normal capacity. There are actually a large number of goblins who've come in before works, at least nominally, starts in the factory or in the marketplace or any of the other places they work, and you can see bugbears are spooning out various basically just like servings of kind of like cornmeal and sort of pickled cabbage and various other and a sort of mix of cheap and nutritious in as much as you can do for hot breakfast foods, with a little bit of molasses for sweetness here and there. You do actually see that where is Saran this morning? Yeah. You do actually see that the stage is cleared of the head table, though. And there are a number of figures. The head table has been moved down, actually. And the white curtain that serves as the backdrop to where the theatre is on the other side is down. And there is playing, and I don't have really the right sort of music for this, but you can see there is a goblin woman you recognise, in fact. Leon Ray is playing a mandolin, and she's doing that sort of trilling thing. You get that sort of sound.
Arpeggio?
Yeah, less arpeggio. But there's that very specific,
like twanging.
Quick tremolo sort of playing that they. I don't know if that's the word.
Oh, right, I think I know what you mean.
That you get when skilled mandolin players are doing that, and it's. As I once heard someone refer to it, she's shredding that mandolin. But no, there's that there's a very distinctive air of mandolin playing, and you can see on stage wearing a face of quite stylized makeup is Saran. Singing in presumably in Tang, Haldanic. You don't really understand a word of it. What appears to be Haldanic opera. She. I almost want to say like an insight check to try and see if you can pick up any of the story.
Sure.
Oh yeah, I want to know what the story is.
I'll try, yeah.
Oh, not good though. 14.
19.
Sorry, I really can't find my insight skill and I can't remember it. 13, there we go.
Corzin, you kind of pick up the most of this because none of you speak the language, but she appears to be enacting some sort of traditional song in which she is pining after some sort of lost family member. You want to say family member who's gone off on some sort of dangerous mission, and seems to have some level of divided. Wait, no, you've got it. Okay, no, she's. Okay, no, you think she's pining after a family member. You realise her family member. You think her father is due to go fight in a war, but he's too old.
You're an asshole.
She's upset about an arranged marriage of some description. And as she reaches the end of this aria, a trio of goblins come on with a red sort of dragon puppet and some sort of much higher paced comedic number follows.
You look so pleased with yourself.
I think it's about breakfast.
I think she's really impressive and I can't tell
I
anything
think she's
else.
thinking about breakfast.
You do notice...
No, I think what she's saying is she wants breakfast. It's a good time for breakfast. Breakfast is nice.
Do we need to buy you food? Is that what's happening?
You do notice
Yes, please, I would like some breakfast.
I buy Scamp breakfast.
a bugbear with more face paint comes on and juggles bowls of oatmeal. They're called meal. So breakfast is clearly involved in some way. As the bugbear clown performs actually some fairly impressive tumbling while juggling bowls of, as far as you can tell, just actual oatmeal, cornmeal.
That must be precarious as fuck.
Again, don't have a clue what they're saying, but it provokes a lot of laughs from the goblins who are watching while eating their breakfast.
I'm not sure I can follow this story, but they're telling it well.
Oh, I'm really enjoying it. I have no idea what's happening, but it's great.
I'm just gonna cast comprehend languages, like, quietly.
Oh my god, yes.
Yeah. Okay, how much of this performance do you want to stay in for? Because it looks like this is like, the morning show is going to last like 90 minutes, potentially. There may or may not be an interval.
And they're serving breakfast throughout?
Yeah, this is a buffet. This is buffet breakfast.
Well, I'm staying for breakfast.
Okay.
I'm staying for the show if breakfast served the whole time.
Yeah, you pay... if you want to keep going back then, I'm going to say that... How many times do you go back, Scamp? How many times do you go back for the cornmeal and molasses and pickled vegetables breakfast?
Where's a dice? Let's see.
Seven.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Wow.
If Celestia and Corzin, you're getting breakfast here as well.
I'll probably get one breakfast.
Yeah, you collectively spend a silver.
Yeah.
Because for over all of the breakfasts that you have. And Scamp, you're able to watch and, like, if you want to, fill them in on what's going on, but you do actually make the rest of are able to comprehend the rest of the show. It follows a fairly whimsical.
I was right. It's all about breakfast.
You do kind of. There is a breakfast scene. It kind of continues following a pretty straightforward thing from there. Her father is due to go fight in the war. She is considering fighting in his place. She gets involved with the comedy dragon. She goes off to join the army. She learns how to fight from the dragon. She journeys to the top of a mountain full of tigers.
She climbs a pole faster than anyone else does.
Climbs a pole faster than the tigers can eat her. Lens.
Yeah, I mean, shinning up the pole, that was impressive.
Yeah, like, you actually Saran does a lot, like, is actually pretty impressive. She does shimmy up the pole and everything.
How am I ever going to talk to her? She's so impressive.
There's some pretty cool martial arts scenes that happen in the middle. Like, it's like, you know, there's a couple of bits that are done with, like, strings, so that she can jump higher than she would normally be able to. You can hear the pulleys with the sling a little bit. Much is like. By the way, the bugbear in the makeup is like the star of the show. He is cracking it. He kind of ends up being this sort of Sancho Panza side character who's going after and keeps mostly motivated by a desire for breakfast, and keeps, like, getting in the way in really comically appropriate moments. Accidentally reveals that she's too young to be. Accidentally reveals to the general that she's not actually. She's too young to fight in the army, but her father's too old. So there's a whole scandal there. By which time, but then there's a whole thing with, like, you're not sure that exactly what goes on. There's something involving these bright orange balls, like 7 of them. It gets a bit confusing. The tiger puppets end up fighting with the dragon. The dragon mentor is wounded horribly. Not the comedy dragon, there's another dragon. And she has like a heart-wrenching moment where the where the wise dragon dies atop a mountain full of ice. And then she's chased away from Tiger Mountain, goes back, fights in the army against the invading figures, nearly dies, bungling clown bugbear, trips over the enemy general, trips over like a stack of pancakes into the enemy general, causing him to be laid low at an appropriate moment for her to strike the killing blow using secret dragon techniques.
Brilliant.
And eventually she is able to, after winning many accolades, returns home to and is embraced by her father because she's not dead like he thought she was.
Aww.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Yes. And there's and you learn that the story is it's called How to Train with a Dragon.
Ah, yes, of course. You're a dick.
Yes.
Brilliant. Loving it.
I had completely the wrong music
You're
on
a treasure,
that.
Jason.
So that all
I
aside,
cry at the end.
yeah,
Aww.
it's a 90-minute show. There's a brief interval. You have a lot of cornmeal and molasses. The good news is it's like free refills of hot water for the tea.
Aww.
And,
Excellent.
afterwards, you see Saran comes out, having wiped off her face paint. There's a couple of people.
I'm sure you're going to
Somehow with a sleeve.
wipe the whole face off.
That's right, your face off. Oh god!
The day takes a weird and scary turn.
Yeah.
We have to find Saran's face. That's the episode
God.
quest.
No, she speaks to a couple of goblins, but most of them are crowding around the bugbear, who I'm going to say actually you recognise is the other guard from the previous day, not the bugbear with the mohawk, her friend. The one who gave you some chewing tobacco, who gave you a bit of, chewing tobacco, snuff, that was it.
I get out a piece of paper and a pencil. Go up to Saran. Can I have your autograph?
I suppose so,
He's
yes.
a leading lady.
She scribbles, sketches on it in Tang Haldanic.
Oh, if you could
Passes back.
address it to Celestia. Yeah.
Scratches on it again in Tang Haldanic, and passes it to you.
Thank you. Oh, that's what my name looks like in Tang Haldanic. How exciting. You were amazing.
As far as I could do. Thank you. Much appreciated. So, I have the rest of the day free.
Oh. I was going to ask you if you were free sort of this evening.
I can move some things around. I'm sure that Mistress Clara could make an appearance if you need a little time.
A couple of hours. It'll be alright.
I can...
I am looking
Do
to
a
take
little work.
Saran on a date rather than Mistress Clara, though, if that's okay. I mean, you can both come if you like.
She gives
Oh,
you
so Clara
one
can come
raised
on the date,
eyebrow.
but me
Celestia
and Jeffrey
blushes.
are weird.
Jeffrey, by the way, is like over with the bugbear, like clapping his little paws.
Aww.
He knows who the star of this show is.
He's also got a lot of molasses in his fur.
Oh, he's just sticky. He's like leaving prints everywhere.
Sticky monkey.
But Soren says, "No worries. I will take care of some business. And where would you like me to meet you?"
where we made sandcastles that time.
That sounds lovely. I will meet you then.
See you later. I
gives
give
you
her
a
a
small
time. I
nod.
don't know what time it is, but
Yeah, by this point, it's like... You came by for it's like 8 o'clock in the morning, so right now, so...
oh god, like at least afternoon to some
Yeah,
capacity.
1 o'clock.
Yeah.
1 o'clock.
Yeah, cool.
She'll meet you
You
then.
don't take somebody on a date before noon. Like,
Unless it's a breakfast date.
this is true. Who the hell's first date is a breakfast date?
Not ours.
No, it wasn't.
Could be a nice... You could have a nice date at breakfast. Anyway,
You'd have to be morning people, though.
you'd have to be morning people, and we're not morning.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
So, you you head off to prepare to make your preparations for the date. And you know what? That seems like a perfectly good time to come back after these, no doubt important, messages.
Tickets are on sale now at the Unlucky Dragon Playhouse for How to Train with Dragons. Performances run from Orcs Day to Fast Day with a Regent's Day matinee, excluding New Day. Book early and you'll have the chance to win a free complimentary round of tea, the opportunity to like, rate and subscribe to Flintlocks and Fireballs and support their Patreon. See one of Haldanis' most beloved and ancient pieces of theatre at the Unlucky Dragon Playhouse today. Don't miss out.
And welcome back with the gentle sounds
Why are you like this? That was him, not me.
of not at all storm.
Enjoy your first description of whatever, because she's going to go for ages.
Oh yeah, there's like a weird number of kids. There's like some sort of of game that the Goblin kids are playing. Like
Playing dinosaurs.
make it. Actually, yeah, that's exactly what's happening. Is you come out onto the triangle, and the kids are playing Scampersaur. Various kids are just like rampaging around. There's like chalk drawings where like someone managed to get a little bit of pink chalk of the Scampersaur drawn on walls. Like, for all the fucking devastation that happened the night before, this moment will live on in children's memories for
Fame at
years to
last.
come.
Yeah.
So, use to speed past a few bits of preparation then. So you go around the various restaurants that you picked out before, you get essentially little takeaway boxes, you book a reservation for the evening. All of that costs you about, these are pretty fancy restaurants, about 4 gold. To get all of that sorted. What other preparations do you want to make, or anything else you want to do? You've got like 4 hours, really. In fact, even after that, you've got like 3 more hours.
I want to find a flower shop.
I'd like to spend some time figuring out all I can about this sextant. Also, is Vig around to talk to? I think I ought to bring him in on this.
Yeah, so Vig is aboard the Witch's Tit.
Right.
So I'm going to do this first, then I'm going to go over to Flower.
I think
Yeah,
I'm
of
going
course.
to the flower shop with Scamp.
Cool. So you're going to go to Flower Shop. So, Corzin, you head back onto the rowboat and row over to the Witch's Tit, where Vig is, you see, is kind of just finishing up a round of practicing kind of walking with like a few steps with the new peg leg. He doesn't particularly like it, and very quickly he ends up back in the chair, but looks up and gives you a salute as you arrive. Good to see you, Captain.
Good to see you too, Vig. I was wondering if I could have a little chat. Something has come into my possession I think you might want to see.
All right. Join me in your cabin. He gestures to the ice-cold captain's cabin with swinging ice doors as well. And wheels himself over with the hand rims. You head inside. It's kind of unfurnished, basically, although you can see that they have dragged in a basic bed and managed to kind of drill bolt down into the ice floor to solidify it. Yes, I tried to sleep. This, whatever the arrangement, there's a lot of furniture this comes with. I do not want to try sleeping in the snowbed.
No, I can understand that. Some creature comforts are not to be shirked.
I wouldn't describe it as a creature comfort. At least, not if I don't want to lose any more bits.
No, quite. I mean, I don't suppose a hammock could be too much of a.
We've got a lot of hammock. There's a lot of hammock hooks there. We're installing them in.
Good. Well, I wanted to talk to you about this, and he will bring out the sextant. I'm going to have Scamp and Celestia look over this in due course, but I gather that this was due to turn up at Salahafer, but never arrived. I wonder if you could tell me anything about it.
Okay. He thinks for a moment, scratches his cheek. It's a nice piece. Sunstone, by the looks of it.
That was my thought.
Mind if he holds out a hand?
Of course, yeah.
Too light to be solid gold, but lighter than I would expect for brass.
An alloy, maybe?
Could be. Have to... Probably is... looking at it, I'd say this is gold foiled. Over something underneath.
Makes sense.
It really catches the light, though. You just see, he holds it up to a bit of light coming through, and you just see again, it's really... You swear the light actually gets a bit brighter as it comes through, and has that sort of rosy golden display.
Now, ordinarily, I might just put this off as it being a needlessly flashy part that the maker just put in there, but there's something that tells me this actually serves a purpose of some kind. Blow me if I can think of what it is, though. It just seems like so much trouble to go through if all you wanted was a sextant.
I mean, this is a small fortune in Sunstone, certainly, and very precise work on the carving. I mean, I'd easily value it at 500 crowns, but it's probably... This is ringing a bell, somehow. When did you say this was for? What did you say this was for?
Well, the person who gave it to me said that it was due to turn up at Salahafer, but never arrived in 1762.
I have it. I never saw it, but it was just before the big battle, the one where Dad died.
Did David ever mention it?
No, it wasn't him. It was the shithead ghost one, Shawshanks.
Oh right. This was his?
Maybe. I know he was expecting. Something. There was a scuttlebutt on the docks talking about it. Something that would repay a debt. He was expecting it to be delivered.
And it never was.
It clearly didn't get here in time for him.
Well, they suggested I speak to more people in Porto Hermosillo about it, and that does seem like a reasonable idea. My feeling is if there's anyone who's likely to know more about this, it would be, well, Gummy.
Oh, yes. Gumdrop has been around longer than the donkey's grandfather.
True.
I'm sure if you
There
with
are
enough
two other parts to it.
This looks like it's missing. Well, obviously, there's no. What's the other names? I actually wrote them down because I'm not here. We go. No index arm. It's no mirrors, and there's no telescope. We could probably fit them to it, but if this is part of a set,
That was my thinking. I don't suppose you heard any legends or stories about a sextant that had extra features, as it were?
Can't say I do, but if you look at the design of the frame, the measurement on this, it's very fine work, but this is not older than... Probably not much older than the 1750s, 1760s. This was probably made to order.
The craftsmanship, dwarven?
I would say yes. Could be non-dwarven if they were very specialist, but the gem work makes me think dwarven. You'd need precise cutting and also good nautical understanding.
Right. Well, thanks for that. That's been helpful. This is obviously a recent acquisition, and I'm going to be keeping it under wraps for now. And for now, I'd appreciate it if you kept this between us. I know, Celestia knows, Scamp knows, now you do. Nobody else.
Of course. Lips are sealed, Captain. Commodore.
Thank you. Still getting used to that myself. Everything shipshape here?
Pretty much. The Major Fund seems to know his salt, if nothing else. And we're getting...
Yours?
Certainly getting things into shape. The new recruits are doing acceptably. There is a very drunk halfling who just signed on. Was very gung-ho, and then his mood seems to have soured significantly. He's apparently terrified of Celestia.
Oh, right, yes, that makes sense. Just see that he's looked after. He's had a trying time, poor chap.
You'll be happy to know we have a ship's cat now
Gotta stop
as well.
hiring people that were trying to kill us.
Oh, excellent.
Oh, no, not excellent. That's where the soul cat's gone.
So, with that up.
Corzin thinks... Just keep an eye on that, will you?
Of course. And with that in mind, I think we're going to move over to...
Yeah, do.
to Celestia and Scamp. You go in search of a florist. It's not hard to find, actually. There are although you actually have to go a little bit out of town for the past the triangle, or for the better flowers. There are a couple of of like young humans and goblins just like selling small bunches of flowers, but you have to go all the way out to sort of Greywatcher village on the edge of the more agrarian parts of Hickory Island before you find a small farm which is just rows and rows of just flowers, just fresh flowers of various different types that are being planted. And indeed, there is a orcish woman there who kind of greets you at the outside of the farm. It's less of a shop and just like her house. Well, hey there. Welcome to Peonies and Posies. I'm Peony. What can I do you for?
Is there also a posy that works here?
It's been in not for a couple of years now. Fury rest her soul. But I'm still keeping the farm running.
Well, I'm sorry to hear about Posy, but that's adorable.
That's all right. So, what sort of occasion?
Scam, did you have an occasion?
She's got a date.
Oh, this is literally just for me and you're adorable. I thought you wanted flowers as
we
well.
need to get you a...
Oh, fantastic.
You need a corsage. I'm going to buy you a corsage.
Fuck me, you're embarrassing.
Okay, we can...
But also you should take flowers.
Yes, I also would like a bunch of flowers for the person I'm taking on a date.
That's all right. Allow me to provide you with a recommendation on bouquets.
And it needs to match.
God, you're adorable and embarrassing. And
Jeffrey, don't eat anything.
Scamp, if you buy me a corsage, I'm going to wear it because that's adorable and she'll think I'm really weird.
Okay, so we're looking for a corsage.
It has to match the flowers you buy. That's the rule. I think.
What
That's
colours
what happens
is
in all the books.
Is that what it is? Okay, you know more about dates than me, clearly.
Okay, so we're going
I read a book once.
Yes, Saran likes black and red, right?
I think a black and like an orangey red, yeah.
Yeah.
So kind of nods and listens. Okay.
Unless you have specific date recommendations. I'm literally from underground where we don't have flowers, so if there's like a traditional one you're supposed to take, I'm open to suggestions.
Well, I was thinking... Okay, well, in which case, what I might recommend for you is... Now, for the lady, black and that sort of... Now, I don't have a lot in black, but I can get you... But I'm thinking maybe if we get you... She reaches around and gets some very sort of dark green sort of... I forget the type of flowers, but it's very dark green stalks, and there's ones where it's like lots and lots of tiny little flowers. Is it baby's breath? Is that what I'm thinking of?
I think baby's breath is white, isn't it?
Sorry?
I think baby's breath is white, isn't it?
Baby's breath
like
is
Robbie's
white.
the person in the group who knows these
Yeah,
things.
baby's breath. It's so it's going to be.
I don't know those ones well.
Yeah. So I'm actually gonna say, yeah, baby's breath is white normally. But you know what? We're in a different world.
It's a literal fantasy.
It's literal fantasy.
Whatever the hell, like.
So so she's able to get you a set of kind of dusky orange roses, say a half dozen, in a bouquet, surrounded with a particular breed of baby's breath, which has a dark green stems and a very, very kind of dark. I almost want to say like. Well, frankly, if you get your yellow dark enough, it becomes brown. So like a really kind of dark brown coloration to parts of the flowers. So it gives you kind of like a light evening glow, and then like a darker kind of flurry of small flowers around it. She wraps those up in some black paper for you, and. What is a good flower for? I did not expect this before the break. So and Jason does not know
Sorry for not warning you to do
a
some
lot
googling
about
flowers.
what the hell a good flower is for a corsage. So I know that you really want a single. You generally want a single flower. So fuck it. She's going to recommend you.
He's talking slowly because he's googling flowers.
I'm literally googling flowers at this point. Fine, she's gonna she recommends you a pale lavender rose with some of those little decorative decorative leaves around it, and a second smaller kind of deeper purple one next to it, stitched onto which she stitches into a little wristband.
That's what a corsage is then, Scamp.
Perfect. Yeah, it's like a flower you wear on your wrist bit, I think.
Is this
or
what...
on a buttonhole. But she's got to have one the same too, and you give it to her, and then you match.
Oh.
And then everyone knows you're on a date.
Well, maybe I'll put mine in my buttonhole and she can put hers on her wrist.
Let me get you a buttonhole one. There's a variant of
Yeah.
the same
thank
with a
you.
buttonhole. I should go into a buttonhole.
Oh, that's actually going to fit in my buttonhole. I was just going to stick it in. But that looks way better. Thank you.
That's perfectly fine. And that will be 3 silvers.
Thank you.
Ah,
And buy
honestly,
Scamp an adorable pink flower of some description.
I'm really happy for you. I hope your date goes well. I was a little afraid we're really running out of the funeral flowers at the moment, and it's just so lovely to see young love blooming.
Oh gods.
I probably shouldn't have said that out loud.
No, that's fair.
For all of your occasional needs, peonies and posies.
I'm so sorry about what you
Have you got any edible flowers?
We do! Yes! Do you just want them for a snack, or is this going to be
Jeffrey
like...
would like a bunch of edible flowers. Jeffrey would like some.
Okay, how about I give you some dandelions? We've got some nice big ones.
Yeah, that's probably alright.
Okay,
I
we'll do
mean,
you...
I think there are diuretics.
Don't you
Oh,
let him
no.
fucking near my rucksack. I'm going on a fucking date. I can't be covered in shit.
Technically, you're covered in piss, but...
Okay,
Or
but
piss.
let's just go for some roses.
Jason
Roses
does
you can
not
eat.
know what edible flowers you can eat.
You can eat mallow. That's as far as I've got.
Loads.
Cool. Give you a mix of... give you another rose, some
Nasturtiums, cornflowers.
some mallows, some cornflowers, like a big old bouquet of edible flowers, and a couple of sticks of licorice for good measure. Don't know if licorice grows here, but she's managed to do it.
Could you...
And that'll be another silver.
Cool.
There we go.
Could you do some little flowers that would wrap around, say, somebody's horns who had curly horns, for example?
Looks down at Scamp.
I also looked at Scamp pointedly. Do you think you could do that?
I mean, probably, yeah. It's just I haven't really done this, but done it before. We don't get a lot of. Sorry, I don't actually know what you are. It's not a good way to put that.
I'm a tiefling.
Oh, like the pirates.
Oh god.
Yeah, but not.
Oh, it's.
I mean, I am a pirate, but that's like
Wait, you're a pirate?
We're nice pirates.
like privateer, legal pirates mostly.
Not anymore. What? Sorry.
It's a
ignore me.
complicated.
You're not planning on pirating my
my
farm, are you?
Stuff.
I just want to point out that we
no.
have been stood here buying flowers from you for 10 minutes. That would be a weird technique.
Sorry, the pirate thing is like a bit of a surprise.
We really are, yeah. Yeah, no, that's, yeah. I
But
can
hey,
do
you
that.
paid for all the flowers thus far. I'm going to assume that you're not going to shank me and take your money back. So, yeah, we can totally do you some flowers for your haunts.
No. Thank you.
I'll buy them some flowers for their horns so that they can have flowers on their horns for the
For,
day.
for another silver, she arranges a lovely set of all sorts of little a mixture of little flowers, some tight little I'm going to say tulips. There's sunflowers. A couple of big of smaller sunflowers on them as well.
You look so cute.
Yes.
You're adorable.
Ah. Jeffrey, here are your flowers. You can eat these ones.
If you come near my rucksack, I'll fucking murder you today. One day without.
Jeffrey just like opens his mouth and it's full of mallow.
Fair enough. You carry on. Just stay away from the rucksack. We don't want you in there. Or you.
Marjorie like nibbles at a couple of flowers herself, although Jeffrey's like, and there's like a little scuffle between the familiar and your monkey. Okay, you are bedecked with florals.
Is she gonna think I'm weird if I bring like a pile of flowers and food and stuff? Is she gonna think I'm really keen?
Yeah. But I mean, she already thinks you're weird for a multitude of reasons.
That
let's
is
be honest.
true.
And she'd agreed to go on a date with you.
Why?
If you turned up and were like normal, she'd be suspicious. I'd be worried.
What, with like my hair all braided down in a suit? What do boring people wear? Like a boring...
Hello, yes, I am Celestia. I am here for our prearranged meeting.
Yes, I'm here to court with you, lady.
Let us commence our courting times.
At exactly
Yeah, it would be rubbish.
7:16 p.m. we shall do some kissing. No, you're right.
No, that's weird.
Yeah.
It's weird.
No, I think it's much less weird to turn up with a pile of things being as weird as possible, actually, isn't it?
Yep.
I suppose if she doesn't like it, then it just hasn't worked, has it? That's fine.
Yeah,
Embarrassing,
like,
but fine.
If you're going to end up being anything to each other, she's got to know just how weird you are.
Yeah.
And how weird the people around you are.
Yeah, I mean,
She's got to put up with it all.
if I turn up with corsages that you've insisted we wear, I mean, that's just setting the tone, really, isn't it?
Yep. Little bit.
Thank you, by the way. They're, I actually really like them. I know I'm taking the piss, but they're actually really fucking sweet, and I love them. And if she
Good.
doesn't, I'll fancy her less. So, you know.
But if she likes it, you'll fancy her more, so that's a good test.
This is true. What we're saying is corsages are a good way to weed out the weak on a first date.
Yep. Huh.
What do people do
What
on
else do we
dates?
need to do today?
What do we need to do? Like, we have a few hours. Obviously, we need to get food, but I mean, that's going to take, what, like 20 minutes?
No time at all.
Yeah.
But what about, like, all of the... We got a whole bunch of loot and stuff. Is there anything we should be doing with that? Have we got some, like, actual stuff we should be doing?
Stuff we should be doing.
Out of character, I don't think so, because we specifically said to people, get the drugs specifically moved as quickly as possible.
Yeah,
We don't need to be holding on to that.
We've probably been giving other people that task, haven't we?
Yeah, you can give them that.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, by the way, I think you had like it was 4,000 in street value. So Azra is Azra is comfortable to exchange that at wholesale value for an additional 1,000 grams.
Oh, great.
So she
that's
takes the
fine.
drugs off your hands.
Awesome.
Right.
Alright.
We've got then 17... Wait, hang on. Yeah, 17,500 we can bank. And that's not including the artwork and jewellery.
There was also some property, wasn't there? We should do something with that.
We should. Everything on Mornington Crescent, wasn't it?
Yes, let's just get rid of it. Let's give it away. We don't need houses.
I do genuinely
Well,
love
might be-
the thought of giving them their houses back.
Yeah.
That's super
Yes,
cool.
let's just give them their houses.
This is actually not the only piece of... You actually have... Yeah, no, it's that. That's the one, the isn't it? Yeah, cool. There's also like another piece of property that's for somewhere in Ferocian Sunder
Ah, cool.
as well. Like that you got separately. I think you stole it from the bank vault at one point.
Ah, yes.
That did happen,
We should
yeah.
probably hold on to that.
Yeah.
Did we get Batman's house? Was that a thing? Did we end up with a Wayne Manor?
I think you also got the deeds to Wayne Manor at some point.
That's amazing.
You might need to check, but I think you technically might have the dudes to Wayne Manor as well.
Excellent. Let's be Batman
Yeah.
for the rest of the campaign.
Yeah.
We're gonna go there. And Batman will already be there, and it's going to be slightly
Let's kill
concerning.
Batman and be him. Fuck the rest of our plans. We don't need to kill the Kraken. We could be Batman.
Yes, you do. I think you do actually have the title deed for Wayne Manor. Who knows
Get
what's
there
happened
and
to
he'll
the
be like,
Waynes?
Who are you?
Small point though, with all of this money, are we safe to actually bank it in this city?
Are we safe to bank it anywhere?
Oh,
Bank's
God,
evil.
yeah.
I mean, yeah, but I mean, we actively robbed the bank in this city. Do we want to risk that?
Yeah. I mean, we could send, like, Molly or someone.
That's true. I mean, I suppose it's just because it's Corzin's account, though, isn't it?
That's true. Also though, like, Lady Grace has gone past Guildenstern. So,
Yeah,
like...
but so's your mother.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
It's not an insoluble problem, but I feel it's something that bears raising.
I do wonder if that whip got where it was supposed to.
Well, we can find
So
out.
sad if it didn't. I know, but, like, again, can we in this city? Because we literally robbed this bank. Like...
Well, I mean,
I could ask Lady Grace.
could Celestia use the eye, or yeah?
Will it be... I don't know, like, will it be anywhere not sanctioned in those visions, you know? Because it was in a lead box.
Yeah.
It's a mystery.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Might just ask
my
Lady
God.
Grace at some point, but I don't think Celestia is there yet, to be
Yeah.
honest. It was 2 days ago. Like,
Not
Fair,
yet.
fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair.
You did rob the bank earlier in the week. In fairness, they didn't see any of you in your faces, as far as you know.
lol.
Because Reggie did a seeming on you all, but
This
to
is
you,
true.
whether you think that held.
I did also just use the same disguise again last night, so, like, you know.
Okay. So,
And then walked into a bar full of people and had it removed.
Yep, that happened.
Oh well.
oh well.
That won't
This
come back
character's
to
not
bite
that
us.
smart, gang. Like,
No.
Yeah.
You're decently smart these days.
yeah, she's not wise,
Not
though.
wise.
No.
Not wise.
So, do you want to take care of any of that
Corzin
before
have
you...
rejoined them at this point?
Yeah, Corzin, you've probably found them again after a few.
Right.
Because you probably
Yeah.
met planned
Because I
to
figured
meet
the
up
stuff with
after
V could have been
finals.
happening while that previous
Oh
thing
yeah,
was
yeah.
happening. Yeah.
You've met back up on the docks, we'll say.
Okay, cool.
I'm nervous. Do people get nervous before dates? Is this like a normal thing?
Yep, it is a completely normal thing. I'd be worried if you weren't.
Okay.
I've no idea. I've never been on a date. Maybe I should go on a date. Jeffrey, will you go on a date with me?
Jeffrey puts an arm around Marjorie. Marjorie sort of just like wriggles away. Turns back
Oh,
and
I
looks
see.
hopefully up at you, Scamp.
Okay, well, this is complicated.
I bet you feel special. Corzin, when did you last take Molly on a date?
Well, I think it was shortly after we arrived.
Not that long then. Good husbanding.
Yeah.
You should definitely take her on a date tonight.
I
like
mean,
that.
I'm definitely planning on spending time with her. If that's if we've got the time free, and it seems like we do.
Yeah, you should totally do that tonight.
We would have bought you corsages if we realised that was happening. Apparently that's a normal thing for dating.
Yes,
Totally
I do
normal.
understand.
I know all about dating from this one book I read.
But what was the book? Tell me everything. What was it called?
What was it called? It was one of those AP Honey What's It books.
Oh.
Oh, I don't think that's what they're for, Scamp.
The well-hung
it
stable
was-
boy.
Yeah, I mean, there was some weird stuff in it that I just skipped over because it wasn't very interesting.
Oh, good.
But the
Right.
bit about corsages made sense.
Right. Well, I feel extremely reassured that this is a normal thing to do. That's good.
Yep.
Yes, of course. And you're going to have a lovely time, I'm sure.
Thank you. What do you talk about on dates?
Well, you get to know each other, I
Yes.
suppose.
Right.
Yeah, so I think
right,
that's
isn't it?
the appropriate thing here is like talk about any shared interests you have. You've obviously both got a keen interest in performance at various different times. Like share stories about that, maybe.
I was going to say discuss your day, but our day has been odd the last few, so maybe not that.
Yeah,
the thing
I mean,
though,
use
isn't
your
it?
discretion
Like-
on that one.
Well, if you start discussing things that
Anecdotes.
for
That's the
other
thing you need
people
for
are
dates.
normal, it starts getting weird because you can do, oh, how was your day? Oh, wait. Tell me about your family. Oh, shit. What do you do in your spare time? Oh, well, that's weird.
See, this is where you need an anecdote. I've heard of these.
Okay, what do you think
They're
an
stories
anecdote
you
is?
can tell that make you look entertaining.
Right.
Okay, so an example of an anecdote. Like you could tell them about the time you turned into a potted plant and smashed on the floor, and then you were yourself again, and a lady screamed, and you had to run away. Or the time you turned into a sheep, and then Jeffrey had to stab you to make you normal again.
Please
or,
take wisdom on a date at some point.
Jeffrey raises the little spear helpfully.
It was very good of you, Jeffrey. I don't know what else can you talk about. There's got to be loads of stuff you can talk about. The weather?
Well, no, what about talking about some of the various different parts of the world that you visited? She seems quite well-travelled. You
I think she's
certainly
more
are.
travelled than I am, probably.
Well,
There you
I'm
go.
sure you'll
We'll
have
think
lots
of
of
something.
chat
It'll be
about
fine,
that.
won't it? It'll be fine.
Yes,
It'll be
yes,
fine.
it
It
will.
will be.
Do we have anything else we want to
Probably.
do before then?
Yeah.
Is there anything we need to do? in the next
We
couple
should
of
get
hours?
rid of these. We should get rid of this property stuff. We should go
Yes.
sort that because, quite frankly, tomorrow we got a mission. After that, like everything goes to buggery. We might have to leave town in a hurry.
I
That's a
don't
fair
know
point.
what I'm doing with legal documents. Does anyone else here know what they're doing with those?
We take them to the lawyer friend.
Yes.
I think that's probably best. We need to get someone who, like, this is their wheelhouse and it ain't any of ours.
Well, we've got a law friend now, haven't we?
We do.
And
Crime friends and law friends.
Yep. Aren't we doing well?
so you head round to, I think it's Madam. Where's the name of this particular place? Sorry, Wolees, which is where you last saw technically so, and inquire about where she. I say a bit of time. Inquire about where she works, and you do actually find, because I rolled a 20, that you have coincided this pretty conveniently with with Senhui-Sin being actually at Wolees. Not just at Wolees though. You see, you are recognised by the manager, Woshi.
Uh-oh.
the the goblin woman with the green sort of tea plants and cranes dress, who sees you from the previous day and kind of nods, comes round to back and takes you to the back room, where you can see there's a sort of large function room where she kind of holds for you to wait outside, but you can hear through the paper screens there is some sort of speech or oratory going on in a Haldanic dialect. You kind of wait for about 3 minutes before it reaches an end. There's sort of murmuring, and then the door slides aside, and a number of goblins, hobgoblins, and bugbears emerge. Some of whom look a little familiar, some of whom don't. Many of whom have blackened eyes or bruises, one of whose arms in a sling, but they seem set, resolved on something. When they've left, you step inside and you can see that Senhui Sin is sat at a table, kind of helping herself to a bit of tea. But it looks as if she has just been standing and talking to people. Oh! She stands up upon your seeing you arrive. I suppose I should have expected a visit coming through. Glad to see you
Hello.
all made it out all right last night.
Yeah, you too.
That was pretty impressive with the giant bird monster.
Gesture at Scamp.
Yeah, I don't think I could do that again, which is a real shame because it was fun.
Yeah, I have to say that was not something I expected when I woke up that morning.
It was really good.
I mean, we've all
I
heard
could
of
have learned to do that.
all heard of the exciting things happening, but that was a new one. She kind of shakes her head as if and kind of adjusts the horn-rimmed glasses on her nose. Still, I think that we are in an excellent position. I've made sure that preparations in place to be announcing my candidacy, and it's a little touch and go, but I have the support of the district. Provided we don't lose the siege, getting ready for those emergency elections.
Well, we'll do our very best on that front.
I understand my father has landed on his feet, claimed credit for the evening with the right people. He's now styling himself the patron. There's some sort of arrangement going.
I think he'll probably do well for himself out of it.
I'm sure he will.
Yeah.
And I'll make sure that we all do well out of this arrangement too.
Also, him and Azra aren't allowed to kill each other, so that's probably beneficial for everyone.
Maybe it'll give us some stability. And who knows?
I gather that's, what is ultimately the goal of the Fisher Kings here.
It's a start. When things are stable, maybe we can make a play for law and order too. But
Certainly seems like a noble goal.
Stable we can work with. Sorry, how can I help you?
Yeah, unfortunately, we do actually have a request.
Of course.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Take a seat, have some tea.
Small thing, we just want some advice, really. We have these. We produce the deeds.
She looks over the deeds, kind of inspects them. I can make some guesses as to where you got these.
I'm sure you could.
And I'm reasonably certain that there'll be some contest of ownership, but the pertinent people are not in a place to object.
Right.
Oh, we don't really want to hold on to them.
Okay.
No, would there be a way of legally transferring these to the people who already live in the places?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I feel I should mention that, just looks over this, over all of the, sorry, it's in the, I was wrong, it's not a midway tone, these are slums in the kitchen. Got that wrong. Mm-hmm. So, these are a lot of poor people. She looks over, okay. I feel I should mention, she points to all of those deeds. These have a market value of about 14,000 crowns.
Yeah.
If you're happy to go ahead, I'll call this pro bono. See about filing the paperwork. It's going to be a bit of a nightmare to subdivide because there's actually about 8 different tenements, but I think we can do it. The most sensible way would be to give everyone who lives in one of these sections an equal share of the individual tenement building and go from there. Then I guess they'd at least have the opportunity to sell up and move elsewhere if they needed to.
Well, certainly, yeah.
Subdivide
If we
one
can, if we can give these to the people who live there, it's going to provide options for the community.
Yeah, that's one way to put it. Oh, wow.
Would it help your campaign if it was you that was being seen to do it?
Oh, that's a good fucking point.
It would.
Because
So long
quite
as it's
frankly,
done.
we don't want to do the work.
No, we'd love you to do the work. We don't really have time. And we could have
Yeah,
just
we've
never
got
been here.
I'm happy to do
We're
the
really
work,
bad at the work as well, so, you know.
but I need to know, do you want the credit?
Not really.
No.
We're going to be leaving. It'd be nice for the credit to do some good, if it would. If it's going to cause you problems, we're happy
Oh,
to take the
no,
credit.
I can use this.
I mean, we can't.
Yeah.
I mean, like, technically, briefly we could, but I mean, who cares?
I mean, we're aware this is a lot of money, but also it's not something that we have a use for other than that. So let's.
I mean, we could buy another boat, and that would be great, but...
We could
We
also
could.
probably do that from somewhere else.
Yeah, we're kind of doing this to try and help people.
Yes.
This feels like a good way to help people.
And I mean, fuck knows how much they were being charged on rent by those people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Plus,
Can't
the fact,
imagine it was easy.
given all that has happened in the last 2 weeks since we've been here, I think this is a reasonable step towards giving something back to the community.
We've broken a lot of houses.
Yeah.
A lot of houses.
I wasn't going to dwell on that, but you're absolutely right, Scamp.
And maybe we should give some people some houses in... not, like, make up for it a little bit.
I couldn't have put it better myself.
All right. Well, that will do it. That's a few hundred people there.
If us helping people can help you help people, so much the better.
All right.
I mean, frankly,
I'll do
us hanging on to these is... We could get money, but otherwise we're useless. And honestly...
We'd be terrible landlords.
Yeah, that sounds awful.
Do you see her just like a little staggered by the choice, but kind of nodding? Huh. I wouldn't say I misjudged you, but
Oh, you can. We're super weird and we make a bad impression.
Also, we're really morally odd at this point.
We killed a lot of people in the last 24 hours. I don't know where we stand morally these days.
okay.
So, by all means, keep judging us.
No, I wasn't
Seems
judging
fair.
you, but She sticks out her hand. Thanks.
No
Alright.
problem.
This is going to help a lot of people.
I certainly hope so.
Good luck. Yeah, basically useless in our hands, so do what
And
you
if I'm
can.
very honest, this will win me another seat.
Yeah.
Good.
That's a lot of votes.
Well,
Especially
probably good use.
because part of the conditions to be eligible to vote is to own property.
Well,
Oh,
this
that
is gonna-
helps, doesn't it?
Create a couple of hundred landowners.
yeah, we've just made a whole bunch of new voters for you.
Technically, this might be gerrymandering, but I'm not going to complain.
Well, take the credit unless it becomes blame, and then by all means shift it onto us, but we'll have left by that point.
Seriously, thank you.
Alright.
Oh, and the other... did you bring the other deeds as well for Ursula to inspect?
Why
Sure,
not?
why
Might
not?
as well. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, this one is... I'd need to consult a map, but I'm pretty sure this is for a coffee farm in Totona in West Sunder. And oh wow, yeah, this is for Wayne Manor. I'm not gonna lie. I don't think to my knowledge, I don't think there's any of the Waynes made it out of the initial attack on the city.
Oh.
Unless one of them's like living in a big old cave under the house unexpectedly.
The house
Walking
is.
like this. No, I don't say that. That wasn't real.
I'm also reasonably sure that at this moment, the manor, like a number of the manors out there, is currently being used as billeting for redcoats, and is probably at least a little bit blown up. But I can.
So whoever
wang-
owns this could be owning a pile of rubble, essentially.
It's a pile of rubble you could pretty easily refit into a working, fully fledged mansion.
That's fun.
I can do a little work on this and make sure it isn't going to get contested too hard.
Okay. If you wouldn't mind. No rush. You've got a lot on.
Leave this with me. I will take care of the filing. And congratulations, you are now the proud owners of Wayne Manor.
Oh, can we call it something else? Can we call it a stupid name?
Yes, well, we're good at coming up with names for things, so let's put our heads together.
One moment. I don't have a map of the town, but she kind of like points vaguely. It's like from memory, there's a bunch of these fancy villas kind of like to the south end of the island, like over that away, and it's I want to say it's like it's not right on the river, but it's like slightly off. I couldn't speak for how big the cellar space is or isn't. It is on a slight rise. So conceivably you could expand outwards and make some cellar space, but...
Honestly, I hate a cellar. Make me feel weird.
But no, I guess you have a mention.
Cracking, that's exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
we'll
there's
see if there's
stuff
anything we
can
can
do with that.
actually usefully do with that down the line. Because right now it's full of soldiers. There's
Yeah.
not much.
But hey, you get the soldiers out, and you want to retire to a life of luxury, or
We'll
start a
use it as-
hotel.
A base.
Well, we'll work on the first thing first and see what comes after, eh?
Yeah, actually, I'm gonna change that. It's a seaside one. It's by the coast.
Aww.
It's by the coast. On a slightly high cliff with a sheltered cove below it.
Genuinely, though, if we need a base at any point. To hide
Yeah.
That would
people
be
in or
very
something.
helpful. Yeah. Hey,
Get
well,
the
if it
thing
worked for Brandy.
sanctioned, though.
Well, that's not beyond our means entirely.
Yeah, maybe not right now, but at some point.
Yeah. Alright, I'll have a word with Molly about this. I think she might want to weigh in at some point.
God, yes.
Yeah. But exciting possibilities.
Fun.
All right. And with Senri-Sin kind of shares a last cup of tea with you, takes the reams of paperwork to process. You free about 300 halflings from the rent trap.
Yay!
That makes real life me very happy.
Yeah, it makes real life me very happy as well.
And and at that point, I think you're about ready to head to your date.
Yes.
Yes, date
Looking
time.
like an awkward teenager with a corsage and a bunch of flowers and another corsage.
You actually had there a bit ahead of time because you said you were planning to. So
Yeah.
probably about 12:30. You've got several boxes in tow. So let's just go back over what your...
God, I can't remember what restaurant
I can remember what your
to.
spread is. So you have, as part of your spread, you have tea and dim sum from Woolies. You have a small selection of seafood, as well as some very nice lemon sole from the Gilded Fish. You have a mini rack of ribs with some sticks of seasoned roast corn and a pot of special sauce from Jim Diamond's Bar and Barbecue. Each of you roll a perception check, by the way.
Okay.
Oh dear.
Is it sight-based?
It's sight-based.
13?
Dirty 20. Apparently, I'm a bit on edge.
Also
so
dirty 20.
Thus observant.
As you are packing up as you're getting the box of takeaway from Jim Diamond's Bar and Barbecue, you turn to leave. Celestia, you just catch something out of the corner of your eye. Corzin, you see through the back of your head for a moment what you swear is a familiar, short, dumpy figure wearing a colander over its head, turning a spit
Wait, what?
on a grill. And just as you turn around, the door closes behind you.
What is it? Something wrong?
No, I'm seeing things.
Okay, fair enough. Long day.
Great.
Yeah, did we ever find out where Colander went?
No, and I don't want to know.
Probably for the best.
I hope he's alright. I'm saying he.
Yes.
No idea, actually. Maybe they.
So do I, but in any case... Corzin's doing that... I didn't just see that, did I? Did I?
So it's just doing that. I'm not asking you this question on purpose, face.
Yep, fair.
You have your reservation, and you have your reservation at the Blue Parrot, but for later. So I'm guessing you probably get a bit of wine from the Gilded Fish
Yes.
as well.
Yes, we do that.
So you make your way to the beach where you made sandcastles before by the fountain, which is not frozen over this time. You have like a little blanket prepared. You can
Put lights
spread
in
it
the
out.
fountain.
You put dancing lights into the fountain.
Yes.
and
And just
Glimmer
around.
up in the trees. It creates actually a very nice little, a very nice sort of environment actually, which of course attracts a number of people who are like coming over, like curious what's going on, wondering
Go
if there'll
away
be a
and
show.
having a date. It's not a show, it's a date.
It's a little interest, but after a few minutes of seeing that you're not about to start doing anything,
I'm
they
still just standing here awkwardly. Nothing interesting's going to happen.
it's like a good.
Corzin will take a moment and say, "Look, Celestia, I'm not as good at this as you are, but I know you're nervous, but you're gonna do fine.
Oh, thank you. That's very sweet. Thank you both for your help.
Knock her off her feet.
I want to make something for you, but I don't know what. What stuff is around? What's the environment like?
There is a little bit of beach, there is some grass, there are trees, there is a fountain.
You could, like, pile rocks up into a heart shape.
No, I'm gonna go next to. Are there any trees where the picnic's set up?
Yes,
I love that
yes.
as far as we're aware, Scamp's just like, I want to make something, and is going to go pick up some sticks and just like make a little thing.
You have a nice little. You actually laid out your blanket underneath a tree by the fountain, and so it's with a good view of the water to the north.
Friend, I need some help.
Of course.
I want to make a swing, like a bench swing out of the tree.
All right. Just.
I'm gonna cast fabricate.
Ooh, okay.
You feel almost for a moment like it's less like a pair of hands guiding you and a pair of hands settling into yours and helping you find the motions. So fabricate. Several bits of tree bark kind of like peel off. Bits of grass kind of pluck up, fly into the air, and strand themselves into a sort of interesting tree bark rope mix. Part of a branch peels away and reforms into a smooth plank, where the rope sort of ties into doing that sort of like Y-shaped tie, going through holes, just molded into the plank, and then tying off, supported on one of the thicker branches. It is the very image of that sort of childhood plank and rope swing. But it's made from tree and woven grass, and looks surprisingly sturdy, and as far as you can tell, pretty permanent.
There. I want some flowers on it as well. I've got some flowers. Let's put some flowers on it.
Manually puts them in.
There we go.
Well, that's fucking excellent. Is this just a thing you can do now? It's amazing.
Yeah, friend learnt some stuff and is helping.
Oh. How you doing,
Friend
friend?
can make things.
You hear him saying, just being helpful.
Just asking how you were. It wasn't actually a suspicious question. Just trying to talk to you more these days.
No. This is it's the quality of the objects made by the spell is commensurate with the quality of the raw materials, so it's a pretty sturdy swing, and it's just there. It's done now. It's not temporary.
We have a swing though.
You just
That's
made a
awesome.
swing in 10 minutes.
That's pretty damn cool.
Also,
It's a living swing.
an activity now.
Yes.
If we don't know what to talk about, we'll just go on the swing for hours and hours
Perfect.
and hours.
It's
And it'll
about
be
that
fine.
point, catching your eye, you see a figure not really dressed like anyone else, and turning a lot of eyes because of it, as pretty much ignoring the passers-by, striding confidently down the street. You see the tall, lithe form of Saran. She
have
has
to go away now.
she has her hair up and sort of tied high above her head in a knot. It is tied in place with what appears to be a sort of almost like a burgundy coloured long strip of silk. She has a small, kind of like a little, almost like a little tiara of reddish orangish leaves, perched over her brow. And you can see that she is wearing an unfamiliar ensemble, what appears to be a long-sleeved sort of, I want to say like almost maroon, kind of dark reddish shirt, over which there is a much shorter shirt in kind of like sort of blood orange type orange, with a downward sort of V cut that goes so that the high bits go over her hips. The V kind of goes down downwards from there, and wide sleeves that cut off at the elbow. The neck and the trim are kind of in a goldish fabric, and she has a long, not like not billowing, but like somewhat slightly loose skirt of rich patterned red. She has another long sash, this time of cotton, in a similar sort of dark red to the shirt, tied about her waist in a sort of loop. And one piece of fabric which actually cuts against the colour scheme, as going down from her waist down to a little bit over where her feet are. You can see she's got red boots on. There is a long strip of jade green cloth that kind of changes colour to a peach sort of orange at the bottom, before ending in a little diamond of jade green.
Yeah, like wave Scamp and Corzin off before she gets...
Quick,
Come
go
on,
hide,
Scamp.
go
It's our
hide.
cue to exit.
Thank you, but you have to go now. You've both been
Yeah,
lovely. Thank you.
I-
Bye.
Shepherd them away.
How far away
gonna
did the
go
pair of you
far-
go?
I'm going to go out of sight and cast Skywrite in about 10 minutes.
Oh, God. The worst.
Do I see them doing this?
You see them take out their colouring book and start sketching in it.
Alright. Scamp, this is a really nice idea, but I think maybe we should give him a bit more time.
Yep, I'm just drawing. It's all fine.
Didn't catch that entirely.
Yeah, actually, I think I might have missed that as well.
I'm just drawing. It's fine.
Roll a deception
Liar.
Do
check.
I believe them?
Oh, that's cocked.
And insight for you, Corzin.
That
Insight.
is 21.
Okay. Alright then. Fine. I rolled a 2.
Yeah. They're just drawing.
Alright.
So, your pair of hangers-on, plus Jeffrey and Marjorie.
My quadrant of hangers on.
Your quadrant of hangers-on. Right.
What were Saran's initials?
Suksaran, so SS.
Yeah, Suksaran, SS.
I can't put SS in this.
Oh, God.
I can't do that. It's just going to have to be names.
Oh, God.
I'm not putting SS in the sky.
Saran steps
I
forward.
mean, they don't have a middle initial, do they?
Not as far as you know.
Okay.
Hello.
Hello.
You look amazing.
You look dashing.
Thank you. I will confirm, by the way, out of character, that I have changed into trousers that do not have a crotch hole in them.
Okay,
That
good.
is not what is happening.
Cool.
Fair.
I'm in the
fair.
dungarees and the spotted neckerchief and all that shit. It's not just like a massive load of pube on show. 'Cause
No,
that's
good
just,
to make that
just
to that
rude.
point. Yeah. To make that point.
first date, lads. Come on.
yeah.
I like the flowers.
Thank you.
She's looking at your corsage.
You actually have one too.
Ah,
Um,
she slips it onto her wrist.
I can't entirely take credit, I'm afraid. Scamp got very excited that we were going on a date and said we had to match.
Ah,
These, however, are from me.
Thank you.
Hand over the orange flowers. They
Takes
match
the orange
you.
flowers. She inclines her head.
So, Frida, come and sit if you'd like. I thought we'd... You were saying that you were having trouble feeling at home here and knowing your way around, so I thought we'd do a little food tour from the picnic blanket. We have some stuff from Haldanos, we also have some stuff from various places in the city. I didn't know what you liked, but... Food tour.
All right. Well, she carefully kneels down on the blanket,
I sit next to her.
places the flowers down carefully, looks over everything.
What would you like?
Why don't we start with the ribs? We might as well get our hands dirty off immediately.
Might as well immediately be less formal than we're currently being.
She grins.
Not what you'd call a date pro.
She looks down and back up again. I wouldn't have guessed.
What, did this not give you the idea of somebody experienced? I gesture at the swing. There's lights in the trees and all the like shit everywhere.
Is that woven from grass?
Yep.
That was definitely not here a few days ago.
No, it wasn't. It also wasn't me. I don't think we should start this with me pretending I can weave swings out of grass whenever you like. I can gently ask my small tiefling friend, though, if that's something that you're into.
I'm sure we can take a swing later.
Yes.
For now, how about I pour you some tea, and we have... There is so much meat on these ribs.
Yeah, that is,
What? That...
This is not a delicate food, is it?
That sauce...
All it was referred to as when I bought it was special sauce. So I legitimately have no idea what's in it. It could be the blood of 11 unborn babies, for all I know.
She tears a bit of...
Celestia looks to camera as if to say, I've just said the blood of 11 unborn babies on the first date to a woman. And then looks back.
She tears a bit of rib, dips it into the special sauce, and it peels a little bit off with her teeth, choosing it thoughtfully.
Is it special?
Baby blood isn't this sweet. Less cloying.
Tell me about the time you ate babies.
Darling, it wasn't... I've never eaten babies. Drunk? Well...
Did you liquidize them or did you squeeze them until their blood came out?
My dear, there is an art to juicing a baby.
How do you juice a baby, Saran?
You require a special device. It works much like a mango.
Oh, fuck. That's dark.
Says the woman who compared the special sauce to the blood of unborn children.
This is true.
Really, though, try it with the sauce. It cuts through the grease.
Oh, that is better, actually, yeah. Okay, I have an idea. I want to know more about you. And, I think there's probably 1,000 weird things that I don't know about you, because you just made a joke about dead babies alarmingly fast on a first date, which is... I love it, by the way. But I feel like there must be lots of fun things that I don't know about you. So, a game. 2 truths and a lie. To tell me 2 true things and 1 lie. I'll figure out which is the lie, and then I'll do it back. How does that sound? Feels like a good date game.
All right.
And I'm sure you've got some cracking ones.
Very well. I broke the arm of the person who taught me to fight. I once danced in glass slippers.
Sounds difficult.
And I once drank wine infused with pearls.
I have questions.
I thought you might.
What does pearl wine taste like?
Much like normal wine, but gritty.
Why is that a thing then? That
The
sounds
pearl
terrible.
dissolves in the wine. It's essentially showing off.
Oh, like that spirit that has all those bits of gold in that sort of cuts up your throat. But you get drunk fast.
I have
Or
not
is that a
tried
drow
that.
thing? Oh, it's really grim. I wouldn't, honestly. It's terrible. It's really bad. Did you break their arm while they were teaching you to fight? Or at another time?
Another time,
Why?
they were teaching me to dance.
Were you wearing glass slippers at the time?
No, that was later.
Okay. How were the glass slippers? Were they comfortable?
Surprisingly more comfortable than you would expect, but made for a certain type of dancing, not for quick steps.
For waltzes.
As a type of courtly pattern dance, actually.
Sorry, I think you're lying about the pearl wine. That sounds disgusting.
She cracks a smile. Correct. I have seen it done, but I have not had any myself.
Seems like a way to ruin two good things. Both pearls and wine are quite nice.
I agree.
Okay, your turn. Oh, my turn, even. Yes, I need to tell you things, and then you need to decide which is fake. So...
Oh, and try the prawn toast.
Okay, I've never had a prawn toast before. The phrase prawn toast makes you think it's just going to be a toasted prawn, but it isn't. It's a toast. Very exciting. Well, that's delicious. So, number one. At one point, I was supposed to be a priest. Yep, I was going to be a priest. That was going to be my career. Number two. I'm very good friends with a pink elephant with wings. Number three. I once sang a duet with the president of Seoul.
What key does the president of Seoul sing in?
C.
I should say, is he a tenor, bass?
Baritone, actually. Quite nice one. Real sketchy on the high bits, though.
The third one,
I can't remember which one the third one was.
singing,
How the fuck did you know that?
because I chose the third one as my lie.
What?
You know a pink elephant, then?
Yeah, his name's Reginald. I genuinely do. I'm not fucking with you. That would ruin the game. Oh, fuck. There's a lot of information you need as context, actually. He lives in the Dreamfold.
Saran does actually know what the Dreamfold is, therefore, so she goes, ah. No, that would explain most of it.
No, you've been to the Dreamfold. That's actually really helpful. I'd forgotten. Yes, he's from there. likes heists. Met him well on a very big one. I'll tell you about that later.
Sort of thief elephant.
Yes. Very cheerful, actually. We got really high once on gnomish brandy while we were planning a heist, and he sort of appeared, and then he was recurring and real, and apparently he'd been real beforehand as well, and there's maybe like a religion around him, or like a cult. Is there a difference? I'm not sure.
There are...
Yes, I am friends with a pink elephant. That is a thing.
I did once learn a new... There was a new piece brought to court about a romance with a grand thief. Not pink, though. Yes. The one... I'm trying to think what the term this would be. The Jade Wanderer. It is one said to have walked into the palaces of the great ministers, stolen their finest riches, and walked away upon the clouds.
Oof. That's a fun story.
Absolute nightmare of wire work.
Yeah, you were good on the wire yesterday. I've never done that. It looks fun.
Thank you. This morning.
Not yesterday. Yeah, this morning. Sorry. I'll imagine I said that. I do know what day it is.
Thank you. The hardest part is getting the harness to fit under the dress.
Oh, gods. Yeah, I'm more of a trousers person. I hadn't considered these problems. I've worn dresses in a long while. Dress and harness. Oof. Did you, put holes in the dress? Is that how it works?
She nods. Slits.
Ah, that would make sense.
The wires mostly arrest your fall. You still need to be able to propel yourself a certain amount.
And hold yourself in ways that don't look like you're dangling, I imagine.
She nods.
Sounds a bit like riding a spider.
Okay. You know what? Tell me, what is riding a spider like?
Ooh. Both more comfortable and less comfortable than riding a horse, interestingly. More comfortable in that it's smoother, because there's not the up and down thing that happens on horses, so you don't get the weird sore thighs, but dreadfully uncomfortable because you have to go upwards and upside down, which is awful. Like the first few times you do it, you genuinely think that all the blood is going to just pour out of your skull and onto the floor and you're going to die. And your core cries for days afterwards, and it's awful. But after a while, you get kind of good at it, and then it gets a little bit better. So more and less comfortable than horses.
I would say less comfortable, but perhaps less terrifying than griffins.
You've ridden a griffin? How was that? Tell me everything.
Once. She has a slightly distant look. She doesn't exactly... Her eye doesn't twitch, but one eye narrows a little.
Oh, you don't have to go near this topic if it's weird for you. Up to you.
It is very... My mistress had a fancy to try it.
Oh.
There is a reason why few successfully ride griffins in anywhere outside, apparently from Sunder. Mostly because they often eat their riders.
Oh shit! That sounds like a hard day.
That didn't happen, but it's hard not to think about it.
Fair
and then
enough.
the height.
Is that the only time you've been flying?
She nods.
I fucking hated flying when I first tried it. I still kind of do, to be honest. It's terrifying. It's like falling, but also not, and it's awful. It's horrifying. Do you know how horrifying it is when you've lived underground for your whole life and somebody just like flings you up randomly and casts fire on you, and you've had this fear about falling into the sky because you've only just seen it like a month ago for the first time, and then they just fling you up there and you just keep going. That was my first time flying. Scamp just didn't tell me they were going to cast fire on me and just sort of chucked me up there. I nearly pissed myself. It was horrifying.
Yes, I know exactly how that feels.
Flying is horrifying, right? Doesn't feel like it's a thing you should do.
You were flying under your own power.
Yes, magic flying.
The terrifying part of riding a griffin is knowing that you are not in control. At any moment, it could flip you off its back if it can weaken the harness enough, and then you are a snack.
Yeah, I wouldn't do well with that either.
If it were under my own power, it might be more like being on the wires.
You know what, you'd probably be alright at it. We should ask Scamp to have you fly sometime, if you'd like. Could fly together. Be adorable.
She opens her mouth, at which point, Scamp, you've finished.
I'm going to I'm going to try and do a bit of a picture as well.
Oh.
I want to draw like a big heart with Celestia plus Saran in it, like you'd do on a tree.
Oh.
But then Jeffrey interfered a little bit, so there's that. There's like, Jeffrey, don't touch that, and then a paw print.
So there's a heart that says Celestia and Saran, and then there's Jeffrey, don't touch that underneath with a paw print.
Yeah. Yep.
So it's behind you, by the way. So you just see her open her mouth and then look up at the sky, and her mouth stays open.
Oh god, what is it? Is something terrible happening? I don't want to know if something else terrible and gang war is happening. We're just trying to have a date. Is something awful going on? What is it?
I don't think Scamp has actually left.
I turn round.
You look up and you see the sky rising.
Oh fuck.
Corzin, it's about this point that you see
surely
the sky rising. Yeah.
Scamp?
I just want you to know that I didn't ask them to do that. I feel like that would probably be a bit much on a first date. That wasn't actually. That's Scamp. Fuck off if you're still here.
Come on.
I get in the message tone. Fuck off, both of you. Go away, far.
I do try to
Drag
nudge
them to
away
the
at
ship
this
with
point.
you.
Yeah, and return to the ship.
Just like face palm. I'm so sorry.
I
But even less cool than I appear when you first meet me. You have what?
I have had a romance by a fountain with magical lights before. I have had this special sauce before. I have had a romance where words have been written in the sky for me before. Which one is the lie?
Oh god. My instinct is the source, but that's not my final answer. I want to ask questions. Who wrote in the sky for you before?
It was the court wizard on behalf of my mistress.
What did she write?
A quatrain in Haldanic.
God, that's so embarrassing. The first time somebody wrote in the sky for you, it was a beautiful, beautiful 4-line poem. And then my weird friend has just done this shit on our first date.
It was very thoughtful to have written in the sky at all, I felt.
Oh. What about the fountain lights? Was that her as well?
That was. And again, the court wizard.
What colour?
Green.
Your favourite?
Hers. But
What's your favourite?
she pauses for a moment. I haven't given it a lot of thought.
Oh.
But I think I like these colours. They suit me well.
Well, if that's your favourite colour right now, I just sort of wink a second and dancing lights change to match. Because I think I can do that, can't I?
You can.
If it changes before the end of the date, though, do let me know. Because, you know. I don't believe you've had the special sauce before.
Got you.
What?
I had the special sauce 2 days ago with the chicken wings. But this is the first time someone has written in the sky for me.
Oh. I should definitely have pretended it was planned, shouldn't I? Rather than my cute little weird friend. If I could, I would.
I believe you.
I can't do that spell myself, unfortunately.
It would take me about 10 minutes to do one of those, she says, nodding at the lights.
I think we've probably had about 10 minutes of dates, so I imagine it took Scamp 10 minutes as well, if I'm honest. My turn then?
Pours a bit more tea.
Okay, I once kissed a mad dream lady in a sex palace. I once received a proposal of marriage from a man who was more than 100 years older than me. And I'm actually an extremely talented artist. I'm very good at drawing.
How was the kiss?
Lovely, actually. Brief. Well, lovely. Sweet.
You have to stop putting the lie third.
I realised that when I was halfway through the second one. I suck at this, don't I? I draw in the sand Celestia and Tyran and their little sad stick figures where you can't even really see the features. But my talent, Tyran, how could you... Look at this. It's a fucking masterpiece.
He takes a stick from the ground and, like, delicately does, like, the same thing, just, like, but with a little bit of calligraphic flares on the wording. I spent so long learning how to do those.
Imagine it'd be hard.
You acquire skills.
So is she written in Haldanic?
No, she's actually written in Jovan, but she's
okay.
applied similar kind of like stylistic touches and the little calligraphic flicks and so on.
I can also do that really well. I write Celestia and Tyran in like disaster handwriting underneath. Very good with the pen, very much. Where did you learn then? Did you learn with the Empress or before that? It was the Empress, wasn't it?
My mistress was the magistrate and administrator in charge of the Song Prefecture, part of the Tang Empire. I never visited the Imperial Palace. No, I learned calligraphy from my dance mistress and the woman who taught me to fight.
The one whose arm you broke.
Yes. During the dance lesson.
Was it an accident?
Oh, yes.
Okay, that's much funnier.
She winces a little. Let us say that my knuckles were sore for a full 2 days after that one.
Ooh. Ouch. So, if this is overstepping and you don't want to answer, please don't. But I'm very curious. How did you end up with your mistress?
Theatre. I had worked my way up from the boarding house and brothel where I was raised and made my way into opera. The mistress, not my mistress, but the woman who raised myself and my fellow students, taught us all the skills we would need to be charming. And to put on a good show. My mistress came to the theatre, came to the opera on the night when the lead tragically had an upset stomach due to some bad rice. And she saw me perform the main role.
Ooh. That's interesting. Something feels similar there in how my lot were. The charm, the airs and graces, the teaching you to impress everybody, but also the undercutting other people to try and get ahead.
That was the best way out of the slums.
Oh, no judgment. Absolutely. Just,
In the Empire, everyone serves someone else. And the further up that pyramid you go, the more comfortable your service becomes.
Oh, that sounds a lot like below.
But the view from the upper parts of that pyramid were beautiful.
You said. Do you ever miss where you lived?
Every day.
I'm sorry.
She shrugs slightly, but it's a little sad. I was very fond of my mistress. And I'm sure she loved me terribly, but duty and rank outweighed that. And she could not gainsay her wife.
Ah. So her wife was the problem?
She disapproved of me.
Imagine that would be awkward.
Briefly.
Very briefly.
Briefly enough. But the edges of the sides of that pyramid are slippery.
And same down below.
She takes a sip of the tea.
I'm sorry, have I brought the mood down?
It's not a subject I normally talk about.
You don't have to. If I ask you about something and you don't want to talk about it, I understand.
But I can.
Okay.
And that is a luxury.
Thank you for telling me.
Thank you. She cuts a little bit of the fish onto little plates. Takes a bite.
What's your favourite food?
I do like the ribs, but my favourite... It depends on the occasion.
Ooh.
For a snack, I am particularly partial to rose oil flavoured mochi. It's a type of soft rice dish. They make these very fluffy little parcels.
That sounds amazing.
For a meal, roast stuffed peacock.
Really? Are you fucking with me?
No, tried it once. Actually, a number of times. Surprisingly delicious. I am told swan is better. But I have
Swan
not
is very
had
good.
swan.
Sometimes they'd bring us weird surface things to eat because my household was rich downstairs. Had swan once.
My mistress did much the same.
What is it with very, very rich people and finding weird creatures to eat?
Prestige.
It's weird, isn't it?
You have to show that you're richer than the other people around you. Or how else will you cement your place?
My mother always said if you were rich enough, you didn't need to show it. People just knew.
She considers this and nods.
Got the impression that I was talking very, tippy top of the rich people stuff.
That would be commensurate with the top of that pyramid, yes.
Yeah. Mind you shouldn't listen to anything my mother says.
There's a pause. Takes another sip. Normally, I coach dates a little more.
Mm-hmm.
There is a way that you can ensure there are ways to ensure they go smoothly. It's nice not.
This doesn't have to go smoothly.
Oh, it isn't.
Oh, it's a mess, isn't it? I mean,
I'm
we were talking
enjoying the
about baby's blood
awkwardness.
like 3 seconds in.
There was once this bugbear came to a feast, and he actually... There was a lot of boasting about various deeds, and he actually tried to boast
God.
that he'd drank the blood of a baby, and apparently That was the lip. That was the edge.
Oh no. Silence in the room?
Not silence, but they changed the game.
Oh dear.
Still not sure if he actually had, or if he just had too much to drink.
Maybe you had too much baby's blood to drink. With the baby mangle.
Well, the baby mangle does gum up after a while.
God.
I've got to keep it oiled.
I thought you were quite sensible when I first met you, you know?
I'm terribly sensible.
You are extremely. What's the most sensible thing you've ever done? Tell me in your most sensible voice.
I would have to say the most sensible thing I ever did was figure out how to poison an actress's rice.
I thought your mistress did that for you.
This was before. This was the night I met
The
my
other
mistress.
mistress, the teacher person.
She encouraged those lessons, but I took the step to be in the right place at the right time.
I don't blame you. It's a man that I think
Sure,
is kind of cool,
Sube would
actually.
have. Well, I'm sure she did. She lived. She was just terribly sick for 3 days.
That's what I assumed, actually. I didn't think you'd just murdered this poor woman for her role. But I don't know you that well. You could have done, I suppose.
I have standards.
Have you ever murdered a person for a theatrical role?
I have never murdered a person for a theatrical role.
Now I want to ask if you've ever murdered a person, but that's the way to make the conversation dark as fuck. And you just said this date is awkward.
Have you ever murdered a person for a theatrical role?
No, I haven't.
Then we are clearly on a similar footing.
Clearly,
And we
we're
can-
both
Probably end that topic there.
very morally good and well and nice people.
Shall I open the wine?
Yes. I think it's time for
Let's
wine.
open the wine. Pause. Some glasses.
Favourite drink? Alcoholic.
Alcoholic. Well, between you and me, I actually quite like a light beer.
Really? It's a plot twist.
I've had some of them since I came here. We would occasionally get them. You usually are expected to drink wine and spirits, but I like a light beer.
It's an excellent plot twist. I can't even picture you with a beer. I will buy you a beer later if you'd like.
Of course.
Oh, we do actually have reservations at a cocktail place later if you fancy it. It's really nice.
My schedule is clear.
Oh, I'm honoured. I know your schedule's usually pretty packed with areas. You have a lot of jobs right now.
I'm a freelancer.
Oh, yeah, that's tough. I hope people pay you. I turn to the camera. Pay your freelancers. Back to reality. Imagine scheduling is a fucking nightmare, isn't it?
They always have such demands at short notice.
I know how that is. In a really bizarre sense, I suppose I'm also a freelancer.
In the sense of being a literal mercenary, yes.
I guess I don't really think of myself as a mercenary, because I always think of mercenaries as the sensible people with the knives and the guns and, you know, the army stuff. I go in and I throw some rainbows at people and they explode and then I leave.
Commodore Horhace, then, is the mercenary.
Yes, I think we're probably his weird sidekicks, if we're honest. Don't tell him I said that. I'll definitely tell him he's my weird sidekick, but I don't think that's actually the way round it is it? Let's be honest.
You might both be Scamp's weird sidekicks.
Never say that in front of them, they'll never shut up. I gesture at the Skyra.
I'm a god.
No, privately they are horrifyingly powerful, and you are right.
I was joking.
Oh shit, sorry.
How horrifying are we talking?
Oh, like, I mean, what is the standard here? I have some pretty horrifying powers when it comes down to it, but I get them from somewhere else. No, Scamp is like if people knew what they could do, like it could change the entire way that continents currently work.
She raises one eyebrow and then the other, and then takes a sip from her wine glass.
I'm not going to tell you two truths after that. That's true. I can hide it in another two things if you like.
No, that would cover it.
Mm.
She drains the wine glass.
This is the thing, though. It's quite hard to tell people about your life, isn't it, when you have a really weird life? I feel like you have a really weird life, too. And if somebody asks you an idle question, sometimes it can get really odd.
There's just so many small things that pile up.
Hmm.
And you don't think of your life as being necessarily that special, or the parts that you think of as the special parts. You overlook the other things.
Hmm.
Well, to terrifying power and flying and writing names in the sky.
First dates?
To first dates. Now, let's see if we can't work our way through the roast corn.
None of us are going to look remotely attractive eating roast corn.
She grins and takes that as a challenge. And you have a lovely first date
It's
that
adorable and awkward and sweet.
wends its way into the evening.
We probably go for cocktails.
You go for cocktails. And at the end of it, she heads up the gate. You kind of take the rowboat back to the Kraken's Bane because you're
I make a
literally both
really
staying
rubbish
there.
joke about like walking her home. Like, can I walk you home? It's really far from where I live. This is actually a huge imposition.
Well, since you insist.
I must see you home safely.
There's a little tiddly. Gets
Yeah, we're both a little like.
the rowboat is brought up, and she kind of takes you, and you kind of walk her down to the quarters she's sharing with Clara. She opens the door, steps back. Well then. Good night, Celestia.
That's right.
She leans forward and gives you a kiss on the cheek. Holds your cheek.
I have a daring moment and slowly lean forwards, gauge interest.
And she kisses you on the lips.
It's soft and sweet and awkward, I think.
Mm.
It's nice, but like it's not I don't know.
She there's a confidence to her kissing, but she lets you lead a bit.
Okay, it gets a little more complicated. Like it's super awkward and then it's less awkward.
And she pulls away. I look forward to the second one.
Me too. Do you pick the place next time?
See me after the siege.
Oh God. Our lives are weird. There will be a second one though.
There will.
Night.
Good night. She closes the door. As she's closing the door, you kind of see Clara's like peering up from her bunk where she's been reading, just like.
Oh God, were you there the whole time? Fucking hell, you could have said something.
Oh, Clara, you. No, it's fine. Carry on. I'm sorry. I nodded off with my book.
Oh, good. I'm just going to pretend you're still asleep, and I'm going to leave now.
Have a good night.
Just around a quick peck on the cheek and I go.
You close the door and go. And I think that we will pick up the following day, on the 21st of Falling Leaves, when your high octane lives kind of pick back up, or possibly will pick back up on the 20th with whatever Corzin and Scamp might have done for the rest of the day.
I mean, at this point, I'm pretending to be asleep very unconvincingly in our room because we're sharing a room.
Next
Celestia
time.
throws herself on the bed like a teenager, blushing. That's what happens, if you're curious.
Thank you all very much for listening. Thank you all very much for playing. And farewell from all of us here at Flintlocks and Fireballs. Fair seas and natural 20s.
A luxury amidst the fray, to picnic on this pleasant day, to play a game of truth and lies, and romance written in the skies.
So gather your muskets, gather your spears, we'll plunder the shores of Calcinea. No kraken, storm or spell we fear, so come and sail with us, my dear.